Get it, guys.
Thank you. All right.
Yo, 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 what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, we've still got the long IBIT. We've got short now, the TQs. We've been putting that in the chat for just a quick minute here. But thanks everybody for coming back. Thanks for what a great midday show again. Got a couple winners on there. I think that Con L, he loves that Coinbase trade. Happening over on that side, and that was a great one there. And we'll just continue to do our thing over here. And you know, we're short again here on the market. We had a great trade off the 50 period. Then we tried a small piece there. Now we're trying to work it off the 200. I'm not sure what this market wants to do, but it had a nice run up. I'm going to see if we break through VWAP right now. I did get out of some Google today. That was a long-term holding of mine, of course, and we talked about that. And we got out of some Palantir up here near 60 bucks as well today. So yeah, man, I mean, so far so good on all of these names. The market's huge. Tesla, you're in it right now, yes. Yeah, so that's going to be something to talk about. What an up and down, whole craziness there, going long and getting out and getting stopped out on VWAP, and now it's kind of just in the middle again. But wow, welcome back, everybody. We'll have Bitcoin at the bottom there, 85.7. And then forget about Bitcoin, it's also an Ethereum kind of party too. 3,300 for ETH, continuously going there. But wow, market getting exciting. Tesla's already 160 million shares today, and it's 2 o'clock. I think we're going to do a lot more than that. Maybe we'll break through 200 million now. SMCI, people want to talk about. All right, you're in Disney still. Oh, you just got out of Tesla?
Yeah, I just got out of Tesla.
Wasn't that for flat or so? I thought you were short at 347.
Yeah, I did get out for flat. It was just like, as soon as it kind of dropped down, it just starts ripping right back up. Like the bid is holding, right? Yeah, we talked about like what happened here, down here. I did take a few scalps there. Tried to short into VWAP, didn't really work there, and then got short again on a stall underneath that 350, 3.7/2, I guess. But every little dip keeps getting bought up, and something I do want to know is that we pretty much lick grabbed the day low. That day low was what, 336 halves, and we come down to 336 flat. And then rip right back up. Not only that, I was like, oh, Apple's starting to bounce as well. Some of these other tickers are starting to bounce as well. So I get long into the 340 break on Tesla to take to VWAP. But again, didn't really work out too well. I flipped short before VWAP there, and I was like, all right, well, you know what? That's clearly getting to VWAP. I'm gonna let go of that one there. But yeah, aggressive bid coming right back in here on Tesla. And yeah, I took another short there. Risking into that 37.5, but when it comes right back in with that aggression, every kind of dip keeps getting bought up. I don't necessarily want to fight that there. But yeah, double bottom on top of 336s on Tesla right now, headed for that 350. Man, this has been an absolutely crazy wild day. Kind of a range, pretty much. Yeah. But very extended on each one of these legs within the range for sure. So Tesla is. I'm sure it's going to be on that list.
Yeah, Tesla should be on this list. We're about to get through it now. Check out below, man. We have the tickers going through. You can check out your hottest stocks right there as well. So, all right, he's pacing around. So you let me know when we are ready to go over there, Miss Ramin, and we will throw it over to Sharif. But for now, we're good. Okay, let's go over to Sharif.
He's muted.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. You saw it. Obe filling in for Neil today. Him and Sean are locked and loaded. They're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. So make sure to get into that chat during the How to Trade Midday show and vote. But only subs can vote. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel. This is the Qs. So only down about 0.25%, well off the lows. We were down more than 0.5% today on the NQ December contract, the Qs as well. The ES flat right now, but in positive territory. The Dow up 2/3 last time I looked, and the Russ, as we watch that continue, rotation trade continue to take place. It's up about 1.5%, so good look for that one right there. First ticker as cited by you, Coinbase. No real surprise there, up over 22%, going on 23 right now. I was trading this during the midday show. I was trading CONL, another derivative of Coinbase. Obviously, a lot of stocks in the crypto field, guys, rising as we take out 85,000 on BTC.
Really. What an amazing run it's been here for crypto. we're going to have a rough start here. I was muted there. All right. Anyways, crypto, huge start today. I mean, I'm still in IBIT right now as that continues to go higher. I mean, we had marked down IBIT right off the jump here that we wanted at 47 long. It's at 49. So it is now officially a $1 and a $2 winner right now on IBIT that we still have. And again, posted here on our sticky note. And I just said, let's try to hold this for longer. Let's see if we can get a nice little run up here in Bitcoin. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, nothing's been stopping it today, up to 85 and change. The name that Sharif was on was CONL. You might have heard a little bit about that. Again, a little bit less price name, but double the move. So 46%, sorry, straight to the upside now, looking to turn around. And I mean, I think Coinbase is probably overdone to the upside, but tell that to shorters, because I guess they've been losing up until this point right now. There goes Coinbase, still going. We already looked at where this could stop. I mean, I think it was 360 was the IPO price. So you're getting pretty close to that right now, up to 333. Like, what a disaster this stock had been, but now making us all look a little foolish for not being long into Coinbase. But there it goes, up 22%. And again, custodial, a lot of people trading Bitcoin right now, and I mean, they have pretty much every, I don't want to say every coin, but pretty much most of the big coins over there on Coinbase. So as trading continues to increase in the space, you're going to see a nice little run-ups here for CONL and Coin. So I really like the names. We've already talked about Mara a little bit, but I don't know if there's anything you want to look at. Coinbase really hot right now.
No, Coinbase is actually a very, very strong trend on the day. And what I'm looking at is we're nearing territory where I guess prices in and around that IPO day here, that prior high right there, 360, what is that, 368.88 in and around November of 2021. But take a look at this. This is the IPO day now. This is a 3-hour chart, 3-hour candles right here. And now look at the first opening candle right there, or opening or close. That candle closed that day on a low of 310s. We're finally trading above that. Again, opening up around 389 off of the IPO. These are certain levels that we have not seen since IPO or since 2021. And even when we were here in 2021, 22, we weren't above these levels for very, very long. We were only there for about 20 days. Look at that. These tops are made within about 20 days before it kind of head and shoulders all the way down into a low of 31.57 there on Coinbase. So yeah, some interesting levels it's coming back into, and some strength, very strong coming in off of that Bitcoin all-time high push, right? So that's kind of a definitely something to watch. Don't want to fight the trend on this one, is what I'm trying to say. Nice.
It's a little late for that, Ram, but it's nice. GameStop, good look today for GameStop 7. This is the longest streak GameStop has had in 4 months since Roaring Kitty tweeted that whole thing there. So good look. Coming off the highs, though, 7%, guys. Any look here on GameStop?
First of all, like, how are we just going to like bypass that sick entry?
That was pretty dope.
I mean, let's do it again.
Like
Can we do it again? I want to see that thing again. That was some.
The rundown.
I
like that. It's like ominous music.
Dung at the end.
There, yeah, you know.
And that's some pretty hype
Like
stuff
solid.
up in there right now. Okay, so GameStop, fun name. And yeah, again, like with some of these squeeze plays, we talked about some of the short interest running through on a lot of these names, but then you think about short interest names, and you know what? I'm here to tell you that the last time I checked GameStop, I thought we were in the teens, if not lower than that. 9% short right now on GameStop. So for me, this is not necessarily anything that's maybe a short squeeze. Maybe there's something about this. We do have, I don't know. And again, Obi, you're the guy that plays the games and so on and so forth. Is GameStop, I mean, we had Black Ops, did we have 6 come out or something like that?
Yeah, there's a new Call of Duty
game coming out. I don't know, or is out already. And then we have GTA coming out. Yep. I mean, maybe there's something there for GameStop. I don't know, but at the end of the day, we've been talking about this for a minute. Down here, $20, $21. It was holding it. It was a really, really nice trade down there. And now you're starting to break out. There's a lot of names that are starting to break out. This has a lot of upside if it gets going. They've been diluted and so on and so forth, a lot of different share offerings and whatnot. But we know the momentum that this name could have. Yep. and you know, very, very familiar to a lot of options traders. GameStop continues to work out, and I would say this same play all the time. When you start to get these moves up, you want to wait for a fade back in there to VWAP, especially early. So there's the break of VWAP. Maybe you play the long, but then there it is, up to day's high, reject, hold, and bang. And then it did it again and did it again right now. So for me, maybe $26 here as a possible trade for GME.
Yeah, no, that's a good look there. Now, I do want to pick up or pull up the longer time frame chart here. And since we've been running earlier on this year in May, we remember the pops that we had off of a roaring kitty right there. Kind of, you see, we remember those cat ears that were kind of formed. Something interesting to note is that it failed to follow through on a breakdown below this low right here at 1750s, and then it can't break down this 20s, and we're only kind of curling back up. Now we have anchors set in from some of these highs, and those anchors are sitting at 28, 29. So let's see if some of that selling pressure comes right back in as it was before, off of that euphoric push earlier on this year, or a few months ago, I guess. On GME. So we're kind of entering in and around that territory. We've been creeping up, coming into the elections as well. You can see this kind of pop and that volume started to increase in and around mid to late October here. Again, on a failure to follow through. Slow, steady grind in the 20s, can't really break down, and then goes sideways. And then there's only, if you can't break down, can't really go sideways. I feel like you kind of only have one direction left to go, and it's kind of going in that direction. As of right now, 2667s. Yeah, sure. Does it have room to the upside? For sure. I think it definitely does. But how much further? I have no idea. But I'm going to be watching some of those anchored VWAPs in the coming days to see for a potential opportunity there.
Good look for SoFi, excuse me, today. Big gap up over 7%, 7.75%, as these financial institutions continue to catch that Donald Trump deregulation trade that we've been talking about as of late. Separately, there was this headline from Benzinga with respect to unusual options activity. They detected about a 7-to-1 call to put ratio for some of the more recent options there. And then last but not least, we saw with the Biden administration, the student loan forgiveness program that may be coming down to an end, and SoFi, excuse me, stands to benefit from that because they refinance higher interest student loans at lower rates, guys.
SoFi there. I was just okay. So right now, just about the Qs. So we've been taking some profits there. We just bounced off the 50-period moving average. We're 20 handles in the money. So good trade for me. We're just getting some money back here out of some of the positions that we'd had prior, and we'll talk more about that. But not for the Qs. All we've been doing is shorting there, shorting again, waiting to see if we can get a move down. Look, SoFi, we've talked about this. That was a great break. The break of 13 and then the hold. So there it was right there. Get to the upside, and it was really this top right there. I guess break of 12. We held 13 today, but there it was. It was breaking over this little level there. Try to get back above that 1150. We had seen it many times get bumped up there on earnings or on upgrades again, and always falling back in. This time we continue higher, and you know, it is going to be a political name because with the new presidency happening and cabinet and so on and so forth, what are they going to think about some of these loans that are out here to student loans? So SoFi, that's a big part of their business. I'm still in the stock. I like it. We're finally in the money. We're in the money about 20%, not like huge, but we held it all the way back in, and now it's coming all the way back up. But for me, up 8%. I mean, we're still underneath right now. I'm trying to favor some shorts. Right now, you can see that we're clearly short the futures. So, you know, that trade's been working out for us. So I would still say I like the short there. But yeah, SoFi really working out and creating some nice little wealth, especially if you're able to buy that bottom down there around that $10 mark. That was great. A great little break and hold. So there it was, breaking the 200 period, coming back in, holding that rate around $7, $8. That was October, guys. Like, it's November 11th. This was an $8 name. It's now 14. So it's a double up there for SoFi. I like the stock, but I think it's a little bit overextended. But what are you going to do? Sell winners now? Does that seem like the right thing to do? I don't know. I got out of some Google and some Palantir at lunch. I feel like it's a mistake, but, you know, got to have dry powder.
Yeah, no, I think SoFi, since the beginning of the year, SoFi so good. All the way up to $14.44 on the high of the day today. Again, back-to-back earnings beats again. In May, double beat. another double beat in August, and the earnings that we had just last week right there, a couple of weeks ago, another double beat coming in. And again, at the beginning of the year, another double beat. So this thing has been solid on earnings. You can see that some of these anchored VWAPs have been holding. We kind of broke trend here as well. Looking at a higher time frame, we're kind of just on our way up. Kind of looking at the weekly right here. We pretty much based out here at $4.24 right here. Couldn't really sell off further, and then continues to push off higher. Again, a lot of different catalysts on this one, and catching a bid with a few of the I guess election tickers as well on SoFi. So it should be interesting to watch. Definitely in play, doing about almost three relative volume on the day today is SoFi. But after the morning session, it's been kind of sideways here, so we'll have to continue watching this one to see what it does relative to its day high or day low right there. But that pre-market consolidation, oh boy, did that hold really well right off of the open.
Salesforce CRM, another great day for it. 5 2/3 over here, looking to take out 5 3/4. Several different pieces, to 400, saying that their partner checks are indicating an uptick in demand and the influx of larger deals coming back into Salesforce, both from the commercial and the public sector. So nice move up, guys. 5 3/4.
I mean, we've talked about how much, I mean, like this Mark Benioff dude. He's been there, for a long time. We like these CEOs that have been there through thick and thin, left, came back. I mean, up now 6% and continues to extend higher. We heard that story last week that they were hiring people to train their large language model. They have Einstein over there, and it was really working out quite well for them. So far, so good here for Salesforce, and a nice little upside move. So yeah, like the stock, like what it's been doing lately. Continues to go higher. It's a holding of mine, and I don't think there's any reason to really get out of this. Breaking through now. We can go double check this. Let me check it out on e-signal charting. I have a weekly chart up right now. I mean, just look at this. 2 months ago, we were at 250. Now you're at 350, taking out what I believe is now all-time highs. It took a minute to get back into here. There it goes. So through that 300 level, there's that key break, and now it's up, and away. This is a monthly chart now. Let's go over to a daily. You could see well off of the 200 period. Like the last time we had this kind of a move, we did fall back in. So none of this would be a surprise to me if some of these names did come back. But you gotta like what you're seeing here. We talked about HubSpot and whatnot. I like Salesforce. Now today you get the upgrades coming in. I mean, when did they already report? I feel like I didn't see their number yet. Salesforce. Yeah, November 27th. So we've still got a while to go before Salesforce comes through. So I think we're right about that. And people getting long ahead of earnings would be my guess. Huge move to the upside. Taking more profits now. We just took some out there as we went above. Now it looks like the futures may want to come back in and break the 50 and get a little bit lower. We're short right now, the market. But I don't want to be short Salesforce, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Again, this thing has been trending up. Another one that's been pretty much trending up since the beginning of the year here on CRM. You can see this beautiful hold of this anchored VWAP that I have. I only have one anchored VWAP, and that was off of an aggressive sell-off off of earnings here in May. And you can see how beautifully that level kind of comes in, being supported until the next earnings report right there, going into this current earnings report. Again, like Sean said, coming into that earnings, we were starting to accelerate right there. We've kind of broken past that strong selling volume, as well as breaking past some prior highs as well on the day yesterday, or prior trading day, and continuation all the way up into 340s on CRM. So absolutely aggressive. We're seeing a lot of these tickers push all-time highs. Definitely something you don't want to get in front of as of right now. But again, that morning momentum has definitely dissipated as of right now, trading a little bit sideways with a base just above 337s right here on Salesforce.
I quickly want to talk here about Trade the Pool. Imagine trading with a real advantage. Trade the Pool gives stock traders like you the edge with their funding program. For a one-time fee, you can join their evaluation. Once you hit the profit target, that's it, you're funded. That means you get to trade up to $260,000 in capital with none of the risk on your end. And they make it easy and flexible conditions. You can focus on your strategy, not the barriers. On top of all that, they offer up to 80% of profits. So why wait? Check out tradethepool.com and see how you can trade bigger and better. And we trade here at Real Trading as well on the prop side. So definitely give that a shot. You know, very familiar. A lot of the strategies that we're doing here on the show can obviously be transformed into any sort of prop shop or your own trading as well. The big advantage for prop trading, of course, all the different markets, trading someone else's capital and lower fees. So big one for me. I've only ever traded prop. All right, and props up to anybody that is trading prop. And that allows you to do things like this on the TQs, where now we're starting to get out more at the 50 period as it tries to drop back in here. So just capturing a little bit of profit as we go. All right, hey, we love the stock. It's Robinhood.
Day for this one, gapping up very similar to SoFi with that big gap up from Friday's close, up a lot more than SoFi though, 10%, knocking the door of that 10% level. A couple of analysts today chiming in about SoFi. The first, Deutsche Bank maintaining their buy rating and boosting that price target up to $32. Morgan Stanley also chiming in, not as bullish though, maintaining their equal weight rating and boosting the price target up from 22 to 24, guys. But a great day for SoFi. Oh, hood. My bad.
Good in the hood.
Freudian slip there, because SoFi and Robinhood both continue to be upside. And I think that, go. You want to talk about Robinhood? I just sort of.
Sure.
You want to do? I go after.
Nothing too crazy here. Again, a gap up, nice continuation. I think just looking back at it, sure, it's in retrospect, but the opportunity I see here was pretty much off of the open. You can see that it gaps up. It has these distinct lows in the pre-market session, post gap up here on Robinhood. And look at the opening range. It comes in right there. It fails to follow through. This low from the morning session right here is at 32.24, opening range low at 32.23. Literally 1 penny lower than the pre-market low, and it cannot drop any further. And look at where it goes. It kind of rips right back up into pre-market highs. Pretty much goes sideways from there. Nothing too crazy. Bit of a quadruple top happening just underneath this 34.20 as of right now, but pretty much sideways, holding on top of VWAP as well. So some price compression, but I guess the trade opportunity that I see was right off of the open, off of that pre-market low lick grab, and continuation off of that hold. Again, reclaim of VWAP as well. Like you kind of come in and pull back. Where does the bid show up again? Kind of on top of VWAP, as well as some of this pre-market consolidation highs going into the open as well. So interesting stuff. Gap up continuation on a bigger picture trend here on Robinhood.
Yeah, I love all of that on Robinhood. I mean, I think you have that gap, sort of that island fill again that we had talked about a couple times here on the show. There it is. There's the gap fill. You come back in, you retest that 50-period moving average, and it's like, thank you very much. Mr. Trump walks into the White House, and Robinhood just goes right back up. So it's like stealing from the poor, giving to the rich. I don't know which way is happening right now, but there goes Robinhood, like $33. Like, give me a break. This name last week, $23, now up to $33 right now, Robinhood. And there's that island fill. So for me, you got to see about a 30 hold. I'd like to see a pullback in there, getting long in and around here for the hold, then the continuation break. We've seen names like RBLX. We talked about this earlier. Same kind of a play, Roblox. There's the break up into here, right? That island at 52, comes back in, holds that 50, and then we break higher. So we got to see some kind of a hold right now. Same thing on Palantir. You know, Palantir is what it is right now. But you had this break right here, over $50. It wicked down to 52 the next day, but we haven't really had any tests, making me a little nervous. We did get out of some Palantir there today. But you know what's breaking outside right now as well? This IBIT, like here, let's just use E-Signal for a second. Look at this IBIT chart. I mean, this is just like right now, IBIT's never experienced this before. Like, we had gotten up to $42, right? Sharif had mentioned there, nice little breakout level, 42, breaking now out back there up to the upside, right? But there we go. I'm still thinking, in order to, like, Bitcoin might not do this. Bitcoin's a completely different, any charting on Bitcoin, you're kind of just resting on, like, nothing's moved like this before. Like, you know what I mean? This birthday was 16 years ago. Bitcoin right now is $86,000 per coin. You dropped $5,000 into this thing 10 years ago. I mean, thank you for watching, but you don't need to be. There's a nice move upside there for IBIT, up to 13% right now. I'm going to still hold this. I still think this is a long, and I mean, this is why we wrote it down right here today. 47 long break. It was just like, we liked it at the beginning of the day. Here's the trade for us. We liked it twice. First of all, the early break, boom, comes back in. We got out. We got out when it broke 47. Then it holds VWAP, and then we get back in and done nothing since. Small position, obviously. I mean, if we had the thousands of shares or anything, we'd be very, very excited. But we don't. We're going to have to wait to see what happens now with IBIT. For me, I think right here, what about just a 50-period break? We've really rode this up now. We've rode this up about $1.20 all the way to the upside. Let's see if it holds this. That's 48.90. All right, 48.90 break. We're going to stop out of IBIT. So you know where my stop was? 46.24. I just put that in, or 46.64. 20-cent stop right now for 220. So we're going to go 48.79. We'll do that, get out of everything, and see if we can hold it till then, Obi. So that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, Sean. Great. I think that's a solid, great trade on the crypto move, right? And I think that was a big miss of mine, not really getting involved in like a crypto-related ticker off of the open or in the morning session right there. But a lot of them kind of pushing to the upside right here. So I did have like a bit of a layout with a few crypto names on Coinbase, Mara, MSTR, and IBIT. All of them trending very strongly to the upside. MSTR is one to watch out for, man. That thing is going quite strongly. Again, a lot of these tickers, again, very strong uptrend. But MSTR, MicroStrategy, very strong as well. You can see that 300 break comes in off of the open there. That gap up, we already watched that level in the pre-market session, but opening range high breaking out at 304s. A very aggressive push off of the 304 break, trading at 330s right now. Yeah, you all have seen Coinbase, Mara as well. Mara obviously looking just as strong right there. A bit of a consolidation chop during the middle of the day, but take a look at this grind up that came in all the way to 25. Sure, we're taking a bit of a pullback as of right now, but yeah, no, that's been quite a strong trend. And yeah, BTC is pushing quite nicely as well. All-time highs as of right now, 86,847. So we're trading at 86s. 86 is almost flat 86s as of right now here on Bitcoin, but can't stop, won't stop is this ticker. You can see it on the weekly how strong we have been on Bitcoin. We talked about this earlier this morning, and then we were also talking about this trend resistance a little bit or over the past few weeks right there, that if and when this consolidation can potentially break out of this trend resistance, we could definitely send it. And yeah, this thing is definitely sending it there. Prior highs in and around that 68, just shy of that 70. We saw that initial break happen earlier in March, but then a little bit of a consolidation before the next leg up here on Bitcoin. And the leg we are definitely making, Sean. A lot of these tickers are coming in quite nice. Now, in the chat, you guys are talking about Lunar, LUNR, so I did pull it up there. Again, another ticker that's doing some strength here to the upside. Pre-market highs broken at 1071s, trading at 1078s as of right now, but it seems like that VWAP reclaim might have been the area to take a look at this one. Wasn't really on my radar off of the open, but in the pre-market, you can see it's clearly been doing relative volume, so it is definitely on the radar of people here. So yeah, Tesla coming right back in. Oh boy, all right. So I guess I did have a bit of a cover there on top of, where was that? On top of VWAP, 45.55 there on Tesla. Let's see what we can do here. That 50, another failure to follow through of that 50, Sean. So is this looking like a head and shoulders as of right now? Opening range, you basically grab the 50, you pull back in all the way to 36s, you push past the 50, nice aggressive break. You can see, you can go back and look at the shorter time frames here on the 350 rebreak. That break came in very aggressive, hot and heavy, all the way up to 354s, pushing all the way to 358s before coming all the way back down. And then now the potentially a right shoulder here on the 350, can't even get there. So let's see what that high was as of right now. 349.94 on Tesla is that second or the right hand shoulder, if this is going to be a head and shoulders. Now again, I don't really look at it as like that chart pattern, but basically the logic behind it is you attempted to push into a resistance area, it shows up, you break it, you fail to follow through, you only get about 8 points past it, you come back in, you break back down, and that same kind of area shows up again as a failure to follow through. So let's see what that 350 it has in store for us here on Tesla as the day goes forward. I really like that 335s. Again, we talked about that in the morning session there, Sean, and take a look at that secondary bounce that did come in as a double bottom. 336 is flat. So I got to do a little bit better at being a little bit more nimble. If I'm looking for 335s, it doesn't have to get to 335s. It's an area that I'm looking for buyers at, and that area definitely well within range when it bounces off of 336 halves. So that's something that I definitely have to keep in mind and be a little bit more nimble. I did kind of piece off of that initial short, but I got anchored to the short idea because I was like, oh boy, this is really nice. Can it give me my level? Doesn't really come in, and it breaks back through 350, but it seems like that 350 resistance potential is coming in as of right now. Let's see if we can get back down to 335s, 336s, or do we make a higher low here, Sean? But some of these tops and bottoms looking distinct here on Tesla. Is the move over? I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I really, really like that short. I mean, we're 30 handles in the money on the Qs, so we're short the futures, and we've been short since we sat back down here today. I feel like underneath, the NASDAQ's been having a little bit of a tough time getting going again, right? I mean, we kept on trying to come into VWAP here. We've just did a nice little trade there. We did get stopped out. Well, not... Our only out where we lost was right there. We did average it back in, took a little bit out there on the 200. Now you're starting to come in, and I'm just trying to take some more out. Again, not trying to predict like that this stock is just absolute, or the market's going to absolutely tank right here. But I like the trajectory here to the downside. The one name, again, you just nailed Tesla, so I'm going to leave it. I did want to look at that though, and I think that you have to trade it. Tesla's my #1 P&L today. So we really, really traded Tesla well, and I'll show that to you after. We actually went long and short. Nvidia, I mean, this is a lesson in discipline for me because sometimes in the past I've been a little bit stubborn and traded this all the way down. You know, either averaged in at some point and then rode it back up and maybe made some back, maybe didn't. You know, who knows at the end of the day. And then if Tesla or Nvidia or any name really that you average into keeps going against you, then you create what they call not a money storm, but another kind of storm. That hits, okay? And you don't need, though, and we do not need a graphic for that or anything, but that's when you get in trouble, right? Yeah. So we were able to get out of this once we broke back below this 147. And again, we'll talk about the sticky note for winning trades and for losing trades. And right onto there, we had written down 147 long. So when it comes in right here to 147, we're going long. Like, you know, it already dropped from 149, right? It was straight downside. I felt okay with it, although we were getting involved in the first 6 and 7 minutes of it. A little early to like be picking levels, but we liked that level there, and it was from the close. So we had sort of looked at some levels that had held there from Friday, right? And so I liked the 147. I would have felt horrible if it came in and we didn't take it. So I'm doing that. Anyways, drops out. We tried again right here, sort of to see if we can hold 146.50. That did not hold, and we're out. So that was an L. But then we came back in and we sort of thought about going long again on that. And this was as we were here trading live on the show. It fell back in right there. We took some bids off of VWAP. We took another bid here into this 145.50, held it upside, got out of the majority of it. Then once we broke 145.50, got out of the rest. And it all happened real quick. Nice downside move there, but almost made back what we lost right there, right here. So overall, in and out there on Nvidia. And the reason why I want to talk about it, market's trying to go back up. I think that if we are going to rip, I still like Nvidia. And I really like this level right here, 144.50. I had thought about buying that a couple times. Looks like it might be gone. So I think the next time, if we're able to dip back in here, I like this trade. We are almost out of, I would say we, on that dip down, I mean, we have a bunch of outs down here. I'd have to look to see what we have left. I'm going to just throw a number out, probably 20 to 25% left of our TQQs trade. So it's not been super sexy or anything like that, but it was dripping to the downside, and it's a positive stock for us today. So we'll be really happy with that. So yeah, but again, thanks. It's great to have Obi over here. Again, trades different styles. You know, we love having Neil, we love having Sharif, Joe, everybody on here. So keep up the different questions. You'll get different perspectives, and hopefully we'll all come up with the same thing at the end of the day, and that's a positive P&L. And if not, we'll learn something. And I mean, you know, the whole thing is to be able to come back tomorrow. And you know, we have risk parameters. Obi and I are unable to hold anything past 4 o'clock. Today at 4 o'clock, Sharif will be filling in for me again. Unfortunately, I can't do Mondays, so the recap show will be with Sharif and Adara. They're back together. They're back together again, and I don't know any good songs for that. Yeah, they're reunited. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a very, very good one. So they'll be reunited, and hopefully it feels pretty good there for everybody there tonight. And there'll also be Michael Noss on. So he talked about a couple plays today. We did have some more talks about MindMed and whatnot coming through, psilocybin, and then some of the shroom stores. Brendan, what was the company midday? Red Light Holdings? Holland.
RIP.
Was on there today. Go check that out. A big company there. I was talking about being in Costco.
Yeah,
Red
that's
Light
crazy.
Holland
I mean,
right there.
have you seen
growing your own
the chart on
shrooms.
Costco, man?
Have I seen them there?
Have you seen the chart on Costco?
Oh man, yeah, I still own a bit of Costco.
Crazy, man.
Definitely not enough. Oh, I went into my portfolio. I was looking at it, and I'm very proud to say I still have 5 DraftKings shares.
Nice. Let's go. I mean,
No idea how that happened. It's not like it's a dividend or something.
yeah.
I feel like I feel like I might have had, and I don't know what I would have had, maybe 50 shares or something. And I said, let me just hold 5. I would think maybe that's what we did there. So
nice.
yeah, that was a recent buy that I wanted to get back into.
Solid, man. I mean, I'm here looking at the Costco chart. The Costco chart has been absolutely crazy to the upside here. Again, we're getting pretty close to that 1 thou mark, Sean, and just taking a look at how well Costco has done on the year here is just mind-boggling. You can see that. Okay, sure. Another prime example of stonks only go up is Costco. Since I guess beginning since it IPO'd. When did it IPO here? I guess I have the first candle in '86.
Yes,
apparently. So 1986. I guess the all-time low here.
Obi, you were just a thought, my friend.
Yeah, I guess I definitely was just. I was a thought and a dream. Not really manifested just yet.
A nightmare.
I mean, yeah, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. To some, maybe. To some, maybe not. But yeah, Costco on the year, absolutely crazy. This is a weekly chart here. So you can see at the beginning of the year, coming into, I guess, in December 2023, we did kind of gap up, breakout of that 600 mark. And then we've only been trending up since then. And it's almost the end of the year, Sean. Coming into middle of November almost as of right now, and trading at a high of 962. So absolutely strong stock on the bigger picture there. Now I'm sure a lot of these what would you call staples are definitely doing pretty well here. Again, you look at the Walmarts, you look at the Home Depots. Right here, you look at some of the home builders as well. Look at these charts, man. Absolutely crazy. These things have been performing not only on the year, but multiple years back to back, doing extremely well. Now, again, if you want to look at a higher time frame, you just take a look at the 6-month chart where each candle here is 6 months. Look at that. Consolidation for multiple years here. So we consolidated 2020 all the way to 2022, and the end of 23, we start to break out and really accelerate to the upside here on Walmart. Now, again, Home Depot, kind of a similar story here. Again, these are, again, I got to remind you, these are 6-month charts. Price action, definitely kind of, again, you look for consolidations, you look for legs, you look for kind of similar things there on the candles, and you can see it was very, very telling on the pullbacks and the extensions that we did get over the past couple of years. I guess that's the 2020 low right there, and look at how well that got bought up over the past few years. So absolutely crazy on some of these names here. 2NY Send asking, I am looking to short PLTR at VWAP. What's your take on that? Let's take a quick look at Palantir here and see if that has anything in store for us. At VWAP, let's pull up some VWAP right here. Okay, so it's consolidating below VWAP. We've made some higher highs in the morning session, then carried on to make some lower highs as well. And I was telling Sean, I was like, oh boy, this thing was trading at 62 and a nice little crack. Talk about a reversion. I think the place to short definitely was in and around, excuse me, in and around the break of the morning momentum here as it breaks back down this consolidation, 61.5s maybe. But the thing is, it kind of confirms where this kind of short-term support turns into resistance right here in the middle to end of day session right here at that 61.5 mark, where it attempts to push, it can't really go, and then continues to the downside here after making lower highs. So a break of trend on Palantir. And look, yeah, sure, maybe for that continuation, I like that consolidation underneath that VWAP. I have no idea what this ticker is going to do, but it's been showing lower highs. We did get an extension to the downside, which did revert all the way to VWAP. I like those. I like the break of trend for the reversion to VWAP, and it's pretty much done that trade as of right now. But this consolidation, this tight consolidation underneath VWAP, who knows where it could go. But I would be watching this the consolidation or the range highs and lows here. The high is definitely coming in with confluence at that VWAP 60s, 61s on Palantir. So that's what I'm looking at right now. AMD and Nvidia race to 150, saying Shinobi. Okay, all right. So let's take a look at AMD, see where that's at. Race to 150, yeah. Pre-market highs at that 149. But the thing is, man, this thing already tested and washed that 150 last week, whereas Nvidia, not so much. It did kind of get all the way to 149.95 is the high, pre-market high on Friday, and then pulls back in all the way back into 144s. So it should be interesting to see which one does get past that 150. But you got to remember, one is very different than the other. You take a look at the market cap comparison on this. Nvidia is almost a $3.56 trillion market cap, whereas when you go to AMD right here, it is a 236 billion. So a distinct difference when it comes to valuation, when it comes to market cap on that. It definitely would take a lot less dollar volume to get AMD to 150 than it would Nvidia. So that's something to definitely consider on that one. Nice little consolidation happening here on AMD as well, kind of a level that stands out. You can see that pretty much since about 12:30 till now, we've been holding a support on that 145 halves. Sure, we've violated by a little bit, by about 9 pennies. We've ticked lower than that 145 halves, but holding consolidation underneath VWAP as of right now on AMD. Interesting look nonetheless. Market's still kind of sideways as of right now. Sean, what do you got going on?
Apologize for any sounds you may be hearing in the background as our building is falling apart in front of. No, they're doing some repairs. Okay, we hit that because this means new position alert.
Yes.
Obi, what does this mean?
New position alert.
Correct.
Sorry.
Hold on. All right, so there's the move down in there. So we are, yes, sir, let's go. It's a nice little move down here. We are now an amazing 13 cents in the money for Apple. We want to get a little bit weak right now, so we go short on Apple. We're also short on the futures. Miss Adara.
This part of the show is brought to you by WorkSport, introducing a new discovery in the NASDAQ, WorkSport, ticker WKSP. WorkSport's a U.S.-based manufacturer and rapidly expanding with growing revenues, government contracts, and innovative green energy products designed to power your life off-grid. Whether you're on the move or seeking sustainable energy solutions, WorkSport has you covered. Now trading on the NASDAQ under WKSP. Discover the future of clean energy with WorkSport.
Yeah, we're just discussing right now. I was like, I was saying I really like that Tesla short, and it's because, again, the market. I just said I don't know about the market. That's because, like, I'm short right now TQs, which is not really doing too much, and then we try to pick on a weaker name as well with Apple being down right there. So the reason why, I mean, I like the Tesla. I mean, you're in the Tesla. You'd already talked a little bit about it. I just get nervous because we're up 8%. So what I'm saying is, like, if the futures fail, this name has no problem giving it up. So it's just like this will drop. I feel like this will drop into the 340s. It's just right now we need this futures, in my opinion, to cooperate and not just hold, but make the move down. Give the sellers reasons to hit the sell keys, right? I mean, and here we go. So now Tesla's starting to move down. So instead of me telling you I like the trade, I should have hopped on it with you. But there it goes. Nice move down in for that. So we'll celebrate just as much, man. Hopefully we can get a nice move down on the TQQs here. And then hopefully Apple will continue downside as well. So again, we just reloaded on some of these. The Apple trade for me is a pretty simple one. There's VWAP. There's that high. I was giving it to 50. We're just playing with it now, scalping in and out right here. Not trying to worry about one-to-one money-wise. We're just trying to put a little bit of profit in our pocket if we get sort of the movement that we're thinking. And that is quick scalp back and forth here, and then pretty much that's it. Like, I mean, you and I, again, Obi, I know we're waiting for a bigger move on Tesla, but we already sort of talked about what we were thinking about was going to happen earlier, and that was that so many times you're $3, $4, $5 in the money, and it's like, it's $4 in the money. We want 10, we want 15, we want, sometimes those don't come, and you got to take what the market gives you, and unfortunately, I think Tesla will give it to us. Palantir, I did get some out around $60 during the midday when I got back. So I was so excited about it. So I did cover some Palantir there. Did not cover Tesla, did not cover Cardano. And then I got out of some Although my largest holding is now Nvidia. Google's back into space number one. It was bouncing off with Nvidia, and I again got something out down here in and around. These are not good outs, it looks like, but in and around here when we got back again around 180 break lower on Google as it's made a huge move back up. Like Google just a couple days ago. I mean, this is true of every stock. But we were down here 160, 164. What I really like about this is, and this is why I heard Joe say it. So obviously, he's looking at charts as well. But you see this sort of up slope here now in the 50-period moving average. That's like, and again, shout out to Michael Noss, who'll be on the Market Recap show, Brian Shannon, and very much everybody that's taught us how to look at charts differently or the same or just give that conviction. Like now you're starting to move the other way here. So you withstood all of this, right? You had to like wonder what was going on with Google. You had to hear like Gemini stuff. You had to hear this, you had to hear that. Now all of a sudden, maybe good stories are about to happen here for Google, right? I mean, their cloud was huge. They had a huge number over on that side. YouTube continues to be the stud that we all think it is, continuously grabbing more and more views every single day. Daily active users up, daily active minutes up on the watch side of things for YouTube. I think Google right now is primed for that. And the other one that I really like, honestly, and this is, I'm loaded on, like, Michael came on this morning and he was like, hey, just to let you guys know, I'm in MindMed. I'm in MindMed too. I'm down 83% on it. I checked it out. It's a great trade. But at the end of the day, Meta, like, there's another name that most of the tech names that I'm going to talk about, I'm probably invested in on the long term. Neil and I have sort of made up a policy here that for us too, anyways, we won't get in and out of any shares, and pretty much on the whole show completely is we're not going to get in and out of anything while we're on the air. So I'm not going to go ahead and start buying Meta right now or anything like that. But this is, again, another name that I really think the advertising business is kicking, and I really like it. It keeps on getting higher up here. Even those TikTok headways, now that we have President Trump in there, at January 20th, I'm not sure what executive orders this guy is going to pass. I don't know how he's going to blow with the wind there. But one thing I have a feeling about is I haven't heard him really say anything about Zuckerberg. I haven't seen this guy on Capitol Hill. All I'm watching this guy do is demonstrate these glasses. This guy's got a new look. He's feeling good about himself. I actually think he might do well in this new administration. So with less and less restrictions on Meta, less and less restrictions on Facebook, on Instagram, WhatsApp, all that. Like if we're gonna give Elon a clear path sort of to the White House, I mean Zuckerberg is probably not too far behind. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about all that right now, as we are now 22 handles in the money, as both of our shorts are working, and great trade over there, Obi, as well, as that continues to work. And oh boy, it's IBIT, and IBIT just continues to go. It is the Bitcoin storm that we've all been waiting for. No, this is not the tornado that may or may not have landed in and around the GTA last night and almost swooped up Ramin, but this is the storm that we call crypto. And right now, it is not a crypto winter. And if it is, man, these are some fat, bears, because they are not hibernating. The IBIT is ripping to the north side right now. We are 1, 2 and a half. Quick half.
Oh, she
wants to say something.
She's definitely happy about what
our call is $500,000.
$500,000 on
BTC.
I mean, sure. I don't know what the timeline for that is, but
5 years or something like that. Okay. It was not too long ago. Kathy had a nice little prediction on that, and she was talking about very, very similar things. There's the halving cycle. There's the fact that this is going to be a finite number of coins, and they liked what that meant for the space. So there you go. Zuckerberg and Trump have hung out at UFC fights. Someone in the chat said that. I cannot confirm nor deny.
Interesting.
That report.
Yeah, no. I guess it's a smart move to kind of, if you are the CEO of one of the world's top companies, to kind of befriend the president of the United States.
Very much so.
Good move, I think right? Definitely some meta games going on there, literally on his part. So interesting stuff.
I don't think Zuckerberg's going to walk into the White House. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying about as far as like all the pressures that Instagram can face from the DOJ or FTC or whatever they come down on a lot of those corporations, right? So from what we've been hearing is that a lot of these restrictions and whatever is going to be lifted from a lot of these major tech names, therefore spurning the way for hopefully more innovation.
No, I know. I was just watching this this clip on some of those augmented glasses that were coming out. They're absolutely solid, man. Like I think some of these technologies will definitely, like, I don't know if they're going to pick up right away, but they're definitely paving the way for an interesting future nonetheless. I think a lot of use cases in a lot of different industries, a lot of different sectors as well. Again, you can I can speak to some of the things that maybe I'm familiar with, and you can have surgeons with these augmented glasses, kind of giving you perspective as like real time during the surgery. And same thing with technicians, right? You go into a room, it's full of wires and modules and whatever. You don't know what's what, but then you put on these glasses and it shows you everything real time, making your time a lot more a lot more efficient, making your job a lot more efficient. So I think there's definitely good use cases for these augmented glasses, and so we'll see how far they can go. But yeah, no, definitely if you have that tailwind or lack of barriers when it comes to approvals for new technologies, that definitely can put you on the right track there. But yeah, no, 343s coming in here on Tesla. So we did pull back nicely off of that 350 mark as of right now. So let's see how, again, like I said, let's see how much further we can get. 336s are the low of day on this sticker as of right now. But that double bottom, oh boy, that definitely showing some strength. Again, the first time it came in, aggressive bid all the way up to 358s. The second time it comes in, bid up all the way to 350s from 336s. So nice little look there. Again, almost over a 20-point run on the first bid, over about a 10-point run on the second bid there. Again, each one of these, what's the ATR on Tesla, you may ask? I'm asking that same question here. I know I had this already open in a different window. So let's take a quick look at what Tesla's ATR is here. It's about almost 16 points on Tesla. So yeah, some of these legs doing pretty much over one ATR on the way up, on the way down, and in the range as well. So interesting, I guess, moves here when it comes to Tesla. Again, one of the top volume leaders, not only today, but over the past couple of days there. Yeah, you're taking a look at the hot list.
Trade right there, yeah. But you know what's picking up right now is GME. I mean, GME right now popped to the high of the day. There it goes. So yeah, you want to talk about a money storm right now. GME coming through right now and yeah, living that dream one more time. Up 12%. GameStop. I mean, Adara's on the desk if there's anything on GameStop, but it is starting to go right now. I have news in my ear as well, and if I do hear anything, obviously the whole team and I and everybody will bring this to you. But there goes GameStop. Just might be one of those names, again, that wants to go upside here. A good report. Again, report. I mean, we had talked about them reporting. They did not report last week. I think it was AMC that actually reported last week. There goes GameStop right now through 27 and change. We did hear that Roaring Kitty was out of Chewy, and maybe there is something potentially here with GameStop, but we'll wait to see where this name wants to go right now. All right, we are now 25 handles in the money on the futures as this one's trying to get to the downside. Maybe Adara has something.
No catalyst on GME, but it's worth noting this is actually in the watch list this morning as well. A lot of these names with short floats or retail attention are running today. We're talking Joby Aviation, JOBY. We know Robinhood, HOOD is running, though that also could be in sympathy with crypto. HIMS, Hims and Hers Health. So it looks like GME is part of that overall move. They're apparently set to report here December 4th before the bell. They do have a short float as of right now, about 9.25%, as Sean mentioned earlier. And it's worth noting, as we speak, I saw AMC popping up on a volume spike. It's getting its largest volume candle of the day on the 15-minute chart. So AMC here with a 14.6% short float. It looks like a lot of these retail-related names are having their moment in the sun, guys.
Yeah, that's for sure. Nice moment in the sun for sure. I think the thing also is the fact is that as Bitcoin, I mean, Bitcoin's now pulling back actually. Wait a minute, where's my out? I was supposed to get out at a 50-period break, right? We're going to give this to 49 now breaking out. So my stop before, I'm just going to see where it was. We did have an IBIT stop at 48.80, so we're going to cancel that one. That was back into here, breaking this little level. Let's just not be too crazy about this. 49 flat break, so 48.97 or so. Although, you know, I'm just not being exact here. Just if we break it, It's an ETF, so it's not like there's going to be a big wall or anything of buying there at 49, even as it should follow right down here what's happening with Bitcoin. We just had to run up to 86.5. So again, congratulations, props up to anybody that was all over there. I did get my Solana fill while I was over at the gym here during the midday there a little bit, and that came out at, I think it was 219 or something. Where is Solana? Let me just refresh this here. All right, so from the top, that's why, all right, got to zoom back in a little bit here. I'm going to zoom in just to have a quick look. So there's 86.3 right now. This is from CoinGecko, so, might not be the most exact reference here, but there it is. So 86.2, 33, we talked about that, 3,300, of course. There's Solana, yeah, so it must have been in and around that 219, so 218 right now for Solana. Binance Coin, wow, another one. I mean, look at some of these percentages over the last week. Dogecoin up 100% in 1 week, of course, as we continue to go higher over there as well. USDC not moving, that should be the right way. Cardano, nice little move yesterday following the 81% move. Upside Avalanche, as you can see, they all continue to go. Chainlink. I mean, you guys can put your favorite crypto in the chat right now and see where we go and make a prediction over the next 7 days. Which crypto would you rather be in? Maybe Bitcoin, Ethereum, or other. We can include Dogecoin and some of these other names that continue to make moves. But all right, so far so good. Apple is really like chilling. The market's chilling, but at least we're 20-something handles in, and this is trying to go lower. Apple might not be that trade that I'm looking for here. Let me go over to Amazon. We wanted 208s. We haven't looked at Amazon in a minute there. Yeah, we had wrote down, okay. Yeah, so but again, not bad, 206. Decent area there with only 25 cents around away from that level. That could be something down there at 206. We could have a little bit of a play there coming in. I know we were talking about AMD before. We did have a super chat in there. I want to thank there it is right here. Thank you so much. It would be better if you tag with the last name as well, but Bears vs. Bulls does a great job of picking these out as well. Semi's a bit of your pause for view year end. Yeah, so we actually talked about this on the recap show on Friday. We had a question about where we thought the semis were going to go and everything like that. I mean, I think we all go wherever the king goes. And Nvidia reports November 20th. As long as Nvidia can come out and tell us what we need to hear, that is that still strong demand. We're going to hear about their Blackwell, how that's performing. Where's the demand for that? What does CapEx look like? We didn't get any warnings from really anybody. Amazon actually spending a little bit more money, same as Google, lining these things up. And I think it was, I don't know if it was Tesla or if it was Meta that talked about having like hundreds of thousands of these H100s just running either Grok or one of their large language models or something else as well. So as more and more AI becomes the talk, I really like some of these plays. But let me just go over to SMH because this is a much more broader look. So we'll just talk about this real quick and then we'll go back over some trades because as the market's trying to move, maybe we can go over and find out what's going on with GameStop. But okay, so right now SMH, the 200 period's been so good. I think we've talked about that a little bit here on the show. That little dip down that happened in August, what a great buying opportunity that was. Obviously, we get the August 5th flush. And then don't worry because it goes right to the 50 and then drops down another $30 right back into the 200 period again. So what I want to say is it capable of making this move again? Yes. All right. And if it does, I think you just buy all of these dips. Until something changes for me in where the technology is going, I just think bigger and better things are around the corner. Apple AI, obviously disappointing. They never said it would be anything good until at least 2025 as they roll out more apps and get more development into those spaces. And more people, quite frankly, buy those iPhone 16s. So for me, I feel like AI is kind of in the early innings. A lot of people think that with the move up recently, we could easily fall back, and I would say that's probably true. NVIDIA themselves have had many ups and downs in their stock, but honestly, I like the outlook moving forward. I mean, even gaming, crypto, mining, all this kind of stuff is require more and more power and more technology, which is why I kind of also like URA, which is the uranium ETF.
Yeah.
I just think that as we
SMR a few weeks ago, right?
Oh, SMR is hot, but again, just to get a little bit more diversification and get into many more names, URA, again, as we try to power this next wave. So, yeah, I mean, I like it, but if you're talking about year end, I would say, and I made a call on Nvidia, I said 175. I said that on the show the other day that I thought, a good beat. Right now it's trading at, I think it was 30 times, or the PE is around 30, 32. We'll have to have another look at that. Now down 2%, so it's getting a little bit better. The market PE right now is 22. So if people are piling into the market, I just think Nvidia will probably beat and then got even higher. So then that multiple has to change again. So, you know, I would think this could have a 50 PE on it probably. That puts it into that 175 area. So we'll find out.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely interesting to watch here. I do want to kind of talk about those chips, but before that, take a look at AMC, man. Something's coming in on AMC here. It's been getting this increased volume since about 240 right here. This aggressive bid to the upside. I don't know if it's halted up a couple of times just yet. Let me just take a quick look at the NASDAQ halt right here just to see if it did halt up a little earlier. I don't think, yeah, no, it has not halted up just yet. But yeah, no, for 450s trading as of right now here. I thought that kind of looked like a bit of a halt, but it's not really. A bit of a price skip there on the 3-minute chart here. But yeah, AMD getting a lot of volume here coming in on this day, going into power hour here as well. But yeah, no, going back to the chips, Sean. I think something that was said was something about the CHIPS Act, right? Mm-hmm. I think well, if now correct me if I'm wrong. I think Trump said something about pulling that CHIPS Act and putting on some more, I guess, tariffs and restrictions for some of those chips. Now, a lot of the bid that we got early on a lot of these chips was due to the CHIP Act. So the question becomes, if that is the case, then are we nearing and they've been getting some euphoric price action as well. So the question becomes, do we start looking for the backside on some of these chips, right? Or maybe not necessarily, like they're not going to go back to zero, going to go back to where they came from necessarily, but again, nice little healthy pullback, because if you do look at some of the yearly gains on Nvidia and AMD and some of these other tickers, they are pretty intense. So what are your thoughts on
the run-up's been huge. I haven't done any work. I mean, when you're talking about the CHIPS Act here, I think that Trump can invoke, I think he will invoke tariffs day one. And I've already mentioned that I thought there was going to be a run potentially in an Intel, as we talked about All-American.
Intel's doing some stuff today.
Yeah, and that was Intel's been another huge run up since then. But yeah, that would make sense to me. Anything, I mean, Nvidia's trying to modify their chips so that they can, pass any of those acts to get them into China to be a little bit less competitive with the chips that are available here. They've been finding their ways around that. To me, the market's been going up for a couple of reasons. Obviously, Donald Trump we've already talked about all that, but he's a businessman through and through. Yes. So he's going to try to make the best deal for America as possible, and Nvidia is an American company.
Yes.
So to me, I would think that he'll try to keep as much wealth probably here, countryside. But at the end of the day, the tariffs that are going to be laid down there into China should be something pretty good. I would look at maybe weakness maybe in Taiwan semi or something like that instead. But I really do like Nvidia moving forward, and we'll just have to see. The way the stocks have been moving, there's been huge moves. And what is it year to date? It was 180%, I believe. Let me just quickly look at that. Nvidia year to date was now 192. So 192%. So yeah, I mean, yeah. Wow. We are probably a little bit wild on some of those, but hey, it makes sense. Not much of a short float. Earnings are coming out. They will get reevaluated higher. And hey, you have more and more price targets coming through. We had 2 upgrades alone today to Nvidia. So nice move up today, move down, but nice move up early. Then the consistent fade out. Like the short maybe today, but I don't like the short moving forward. What's up, Adara?
Another story here to potentially explain that move down in the semiconductor space. It has to do with TSM. One of these catalysts was actually in our watch list this morning. So the Minister of Economic Affairs in Taiwan basically said that TSM, or Taiwan Semiconductor, is actually unable to manufacture its 2-nanometer chips overseas due to Taiwan's technology protection regulations, because they want their core technology to stay in Taiwan. So that is one negative catalyst for TSM. Then a little bit later today, the Global Times reported that apparently the U.S. Department of Commerce has instructed TSM to stop supplying China with some of these more sophisticated AI chips. That's a measure that took place as of Monday, aka today. So a couple negative catalysts for TSM. From what I'm seeing, this move down in TSM could potentially be attributed to some of the weakness in the semiconductor space overall, guys. And we are brought to you by Firefly Neuroscience. Firefly Neuroscience has taken a bold step in advancing brain health technology. In collaboration with Bright Minds Biosciences, Firefly's innovative AI-powered platform has successfully analyzed data from a groundbreaking phase 1 clinical trial, using advanced EEG technology to track brain activity. This data unlocks new potential in treating neurological and mental disorders, reinforcing Firefly's position at the forefront of brain health innovation. As they prepare for phase 2, this partnership signals exciting developments for the future of neuropsychiatric treatments. Firefly Neuroscience, shaping the future of brain health.
Yeah, check out Firefly. I mean, I was thinking about putting on some more shares now for the NASDAQ. Like, it's just...
Short?
Short, yeah. I mean, we've already made this move up. I mean, I covered a little bit. I'm covering a little bit more, but it's like 10 handles. And it's not, you know, we want to make money, obviously, but we don't want to make stupid trades. That has nothing to do with that. It's like, I just wonder if we're going to take this level out right here. That high is 40s. I don't have a stop in there until we get into that area. So I think I'm going to cancel that stop and maybe put on another position if we can get into the 20s right here. I'm going to put on another offer. It'll be, I mean, the same price pretty much that we have right now. We'll see if we can get something in there for the TQQs. But yeah, I think I'm going to add a little bit to that using that high there, 82.30s, 82.40s, I think it was actually. Hold on a second. Get it exact. So we'll just use VWAP actually. 82.40 and change as our out. We'll take a little bit more here at 20 just to add to our position. So I'm going to put on another, so double the position up here, and it'll give us a little bit of shares, not so many, not enough that we can't manage it, but that's what we're going to do right now with the TQs, and then put our stop in at, just got to make sure that I cancel my old stops, and then now we'll put this one in at 82.42 for that stop right there and see what we can do. So yeah, we're going to try it right there on the TQQs.
Yeah, no,
I get a little bit more short.
I was just kind of looking back at again, we were talking about the CHIPS Act, and this act was signed and I guess enacted on August 9th, 2022. So I just want to go back and look at where we were on August 9th, 2022, right here. So here we go, August 9th, 2022. September, there it is, right here. So right here, we were trading in and around, I guess, pre-split, split adjusted prices of around $19. So split adjusted $19 on Nvidia when that act was kind of enacted right here. You can see we did dip down about 50% after that,
there you go.
and then rips all the way up. Now look, I have a lot of I got a lot of lines on my charts here, but yeah, it rips all the way up. We're at 145 all the way. So from 20 when the act kind of started, we dipped down to 10s, and then now we're pushing 145s with the 149.77 all-time high here on Nvidia. So interesting nonetheless. We've been only pretty much catching a bid since about, since the beginning of 2023. But you can see February, March, we do a bit of a gap up past some of those prices from earlier, and then just a gap up through that 30 mark into a 40 base. Now again, these are all pre-split prices. Don't forget that we split a 10-to-1 on June 24th, the 10th of June 2024 is what I mean there on Nvidia. So yeah, interesting stuff nonetheless. Let's see if that idea comes to fruition. I'll definitely be watching for that to come in. But yeah, no, these chips are hella strong on the year, like Sean said. Yeah, take a look at that. Tesla coming right back into VWAP there. I was looking at this to come back into 340. Didn't really come in, and then we start catching a bit of an aggressive bid on top of 342. So I was like, all right, well, I kind of want to get out of that one there. If you're going to show me the bid, distinctly different from some of the selling that was going on off of that 350. So yeah, this could definitely go sideways. Again, it is power hour. It's 308 right now. I'm not really looking for too much else. Kind of just packing my patience here. Only in this Disney trade. This Disney not looking too good for me as of right now, as it kind of winds up on top of VWAP. Bit of a range happening here. Range highs at 160s. Kind of range lows just hovering above 100 to 110 here on Disney. So interesting price action there. Bit of a sideways consolidation, but not really giving me the the trade that I'm really looking for. But again, like I said, in the morning session, the better trade is to take the trend break into that VWAP retest. After that bid kind of dissipates or falls off, that trade has already happened, not only once, but twice there. Let's see if it happens a third time. But what I'm actually looking for was that break back through 100. Didn't really come through, man. So again, what is the next trade? I'll let this one kind of pan out in the next 40, 50 minutes. Let us know in the chat. What are you guys trading? What have you guys been trading today? What are some of the names you guys have eyes on as of right now? CO Spy talking about short SMCI. Oh boy. I mean, if you were short the past few days, or the past couple of weeks there off of that was it DOJ news or SEC news? I think it was it might have been.
There's the whistleblower there.
Yeah, there's a
Ernst &
whistleblower.
Young backed away from them as the
their
firm
accounting firm was
they
like,
released they're not going to be reporting. They don't have like any guidelines to report.
Yeah, it was funny. Wayne was showing me the letter that the accounting firm sent to the SEC, and it was basically like, yeah, you guys are totally right on your assessment. There's definitely some fraud going on here, and you can see that quadrunk that happens off of that catalyst with that day one happening on October 30th. We've only been downtrending since then. Nice little flush off of earnings as well. Pretty much continuing to make lower highs here on SMCI. So yeah, I don't know. Short, definitely bigger picture. It seems like that has been the idea that's been working quite well on this name. But as of right now, I have no idea. VWAP sitting at 22.38. So we are technically trading above VWAP on the intraday session as of right now, but below some of these prior day levels as well as pre-market highs and consolidation lows as well here on SMCI. So a nice little, nice look there. I do kind of have SMCI in this tech basket look that I have going on there here. But yeah, no, SMCI is the only kind of chip name on the day that's pretty much ticked up aggressively after that morning flush. Most of the rest of them didn't really quite make it back. Or trading near their day lows as of right now. Again, you can look at SMH as an example right here. You can see that VWAP resistance has definitely been the case there since the morning session, and that VWAP is coming in once again going into the last hour of the day as of right now on SMH. So interesting look there. ARM as well. I had ARM on watch. ARM continuing to sell off. So I guess that TSM story, that's the one that I missed, I guess, and that definitely would have a lot of these chips taking to the downside off of that news. Kind of TSM being like, yeah, we're going to hold on to our technology, hold it near, I guess, in Taiwan. So a lot of these chips, aggressive selling coming off of the open. Again, SMH is a great indicator of that. Look at that opening bar. This is a 15-minute chart. The first half an hour, just continuous selling there on SMH, kind of giving you a perspective of what's going on in that sector. I see that you have IBIT on your chart.
Dude, Bitcoin just broke. Congratulations to everybody. 87 right there on Bitcoin. So there it goes, man. 87,000 right now for crypto, well, for Bitcoin, and crypto probably broke 3 trillion or something as well. We can go have a quick look at that one. But here's the daily on Bitcoin. See ya. I mean, you want to talk about that break right there of 73,000. Nice move up there for Bitcoin. And I mean, just wealth creation, right? Like this is January of 2023, 17,000 straight up to the upside. So if you believed on that one and you held on to crypto, then you have done yourself a favor as that continues to go higher right there. So we can look at it again with different time frames. I mean, maybe a 5-minute chart to see any kind of pullbacks. We're still long. We were long down here, man. We're already long IBIT. You can see IBIT right now, by the way. IBIT, we have something for this. $3 now in the money on IBIT right now as that continues to go higher. But Bitcoin, no point of slowing this down. I mean, 85,000. I mean, where's the next little? We already went down here into 84 and held right there. Now upside in Bitcoin. Look at that, 86, 87 right down here. 87,000 continues to impress there to the upside. So big moves all around. All right. So I just put my stop at breaking through 50s, but I don't know. Don't really want to get stopped out, small piece anyways. So, all right, TQQs, we're about to get shut down on this one. We had sort of thought that the market... Sorry.
Not.
My bad. Stopped out of this one right now on here. Yeah, this trade might be shut down soon. That's what I should say. Not myself. It's going to be a green day for us. So we're not. I mean, imagine I'd have to make a really serious keystroke. To screw this one up at this point. But you know,
a few extra zeros.
Yeah, maybe even more than that. Because it's not really moving that much. That's all I'm saying. Like even if I had 10,000 shares here, I mean, we're talking about 10-cent move. All right, so like that's all that it's done. Anyways, breaking through VWAP, we're out. We are looking to get a little bit more short at 82.30. So where are we now? Why didn't we get filled? There we are. So now we're filled. Okay, I was like, why are we not filled there? There's our 82.30 fill. Again, stopping out a little bit more above this level. I just thought that, hey, heading into power hour, it didn't seem like we were moving that much. And I still feel pretty good about that statement, but it is a move higher. feel crazy that if we average into this and didn't take a piece there. So we're getting closer to that right now. Our average price is 24s. So even if we wind up losing, just to double check my stop, is a breakthrough 40. So it'll be about 15, 20 handle hit on that one if it goes. And then almost out of this one, we get right up to the VWAP again on Apple. Took some profits there. Just trying to see again about this VWAP there as well. So a couple levels to look at here. Apple, crypto, we're already long and waiting to see that one fall back in. And then the futures. So waiting for a nice little pushback here. If we can get it, our stops are already in place.
Yeah, no, another name that I kind of missed out on when it comes to crypto names here is, I'm sure you've heard of this one before, BTBT, Bit Digital. So again, doing some significant relative volume on the day today. This is a 1 hour chart, so I have about 5 times the relative volume here. Again, not really an extended move there off of the open relative to some of these other crypto tickers. Again, you can take a look at here. We'll run through a quick picture here. Again, hourly chart. This is Coinbase right here. So near high a day. Mara as well. Look at that. Very, very strong on the day. MSTR, very strong on the day. This one doesn't even have red bars on the hourly here on MSTR. So that one is aggressively strong in the IBIT. Of course, Sean is showing you as well. Very, very similar. No red bars on the hourly. So this thing has only been taking up that prior bar low, respecting quite well here on IBIT and a few of these other names as well. But take a look at BTBT as well. So BTBT a little bit less directional, a little bit more choppy. But again, you got to remember this thing. The market cap is okay. Wow. Okay, 804 million market cap with 147 million share float there on BTBT. Definitely one of the volume leaders on the day. Not the top list right here, but you can see it is on the volume leader list as well. As soon as I pull it up. I guess BitF as well, people talking about, and CleanSpark. Can't forget about CleanSpark. CleanSpark as well, CLSK, $15 hold off of the open for a push all the way up to 1776 as of right now. But yeah, taking a look back at some of these tickers, I'm curious to know whether these smaller cap ones will have a move going forward. Again, breaking past some of these prior levels. Look at that. Prior high here is 538. That's an aggressive spike. Confluence with a lot of volume here that happened earlier on this year. This happened at the beginning of the year. End of the year last year, December 2023 to January 2024 was this crazy move on BTBT. Again, that is that prior highs since. We haven't seen some of these prices since 2022. So this kind of breakout on BTBT, again, how hard will it come in? Will it take a few days? That's the question that I'm asking. Let's take a quick check at the short float on this one, because last time I remember this one had a decent short float. So I got right now 18% short float. We're only trading about a few pennies above that prior high there at 538. 544 is trading right now with a day high of 551. So some of these tickers might be a multi-day move, but we'll have to wait and see what Bitcoin has in store for us, Sean. I think that 100K is very, very close by, well within range, I would say. We're almost at 90, and then what's another 10K? We've seen what it can do through that 70. We're almost at 8. We pushed past 80. We're almost at 90. What's another 10K, Sean? So I think that 100 definitely well within the stars. And I know there's a lot of bets going on for that 100K Bitcoin, because there have been a lot of there has been a lot of skepticism or skeptics that never believed that Bitcoin could push that high. But the thing is, stocks only go up.
Yep. AMC is ripping.
Cults tend to tick up as well.
We
definitely one of those.
Cults are good there.
Cults are good long.
Apparently, Google searches for how to move to Canada has also ticked up. As well,
I heard about that.
Of that election there. So yeah, lots of things happening right now in the wild world of politics, and I mean, Bitcoin's a funny one because there's been, like they ran on some Bitcoin platforms, like. Both parties were talking Bitcoin, right? Yeah. So we kind of knew that there would be some potential. I don't know what the right terminology is here, but there was some headways there, some tailwinds and headwinds in the space, and continues to work out. All right, I just wanted to say, we did get stopped out of Apple. It broke VWAP. We got out of it, so we're going to slap a fail. We will go red right there on Apple. But the futures, however, we're able to scalp out a little bit out of there, but not a lot. So we are going to wait to see what happens. There it is, short there. Our average price was 24s. These were 17s and 18s that we got out there. So we were making like 6, 7, 8 handles. So just trying to be patient with it to see where we can go. Apple was wrong. Apple started going up. We might as well just get out of these tech names and just try to mess with the futures. Never a good idea to be short the futures and Apple at the same time, especially if you feel like it's not going to be right. So we'll get out of that one and then now wait to see if there's going to be any love back in for Apple. Maybe a long at some point. So why not? Yeah, I know we should be in a 3 times levered thing. I liked IBIT, and we had wrote down IBIT today that we really liked 47 break. So we had sort of done the work on IBIT and traded that. I don't trade anyways the ITX as much as we probably should be, or some of these other names as well. But that's why I'm trading TQQs. Just, I like that. I like the advantage that gives me as well. So TQQ is another one on my mind. What's up, Adara?
I mentioned earlier here that a lot of these retail favorites or heavily shorted names have gotten moves today. Another one that just popped up on volume for me is KOS. So it's worth noting here, KOS Corporation, KOSS. This is another brand that got a pump up based on some speculated Roaring Kitty affiliations back in July. It's worth noting here, not a ton of volume, just around 500,000 shares traded on the day. But at highs of days here, up almost 13% with an 8% short float. Beware of a little bit of a relative volume spike for KOSS, guys.
Just got stopped at F50s there. We were just talking about that short there in Apple and how we liked it until we didn't, of course. But you saw that turnaround. And
I saw the turnaround. I got long Tesla on that because I was like, the market could be turning here with Apple doing that kind of a move again.
You're out of Tesla.
Yeah, I'm out of Tesla because I was short underneath that 350. That failure to follow through was the idea, but then that break of trend again. I got to do a little bit better with respecting the chart and the price action here, and I haven't been doing too well with that, Sean. So a little bit of I guess I see what's happening, and I don't really trust it.
Right.
Which is again, it's an ego thing. I will admit that's something I do have to get better at. And again, it's a problem that I wasn't experiencing earlier as heavily, but now as of late, I think I have been just not really trusting that price action. But I got to get back at it and kind of just trust that price action. So that was a little bit of that decision making where I'm like, all right, well, if it's breaking trend and holding that 342, I was observing it coming down off of that 350. I was like, all right, bid. I liked the long off of that grab, that low day grab. And then when it did slow down on top of that, or just underneath that 350, I liked the selling. It looked distinctly different. But then I was like, all right, well, if this is going to bid back up, we might get back to VWAP, and we did for a pullback in. But it seems like VWAP was the area that we got lower highs at, and it continues to tick lower as of right now off of that VWAP area. But again, with only about 40 minutes, just under 40 minutes left on the day, I'm not really kind of looking for too much or anything too crazy just yet. Looking for more of this, I guess, structures to break. We've had that bid come in off of 342. We have an even stronger bid come in off of that 336, and then we have some selling coming in off of that 350. So if we can't really get to any of those prices going into the end of the day, I'm not really looking at too much else here on Tesla to take into the close. I'm not really seeing too much else either. Amazon's still trading sideways, man. Amazon was again. Solid kind of a push through that 200 mark when that Bezos lid lifted prior week right there. You can see that 200 comes in. Day one, that short still stands, but then I guess it pushes on election day or post-election results right there. We washed that 200, and lo and behold, off of the open, that 200 is good to go, and we finally push up all the way to 212s. Coming in last Thursday. A bit of a pullback as of right now, but you take a look at the intraday action. This is consolidating so tightly. So again, price compression, pullback off of those 210s, 206s. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw more filings of Bezos selling more of his shares. I think what was it? He has about 10 million left to sell. And we initially thought that it was all going to be at 200, but again, he sold some all the way from 200 all the way to 210. I saw on the filing there. So I'm sure we're going to be seeing a lot more filings coming in the following days to weeks as he finishes selling off the rest of his intended sale that he kind of filed for. So should be interesting. But as of right now, the sideways consolidation, man, absolutely crazy. You throw a VWAP on here, you can see that we're trading well below VWAP right here. Kind of holding a bit of a base on top of 206s with the 205.60 day low as of right now here on Amazon. So it should be interesting. Again, market came in hot and heavy off of the open as well. So I have no idea, but it seems like we may be poised to close in and around this area here if Amazon continues to consolidate without any significant moves. But yeah, you guys are talking about the Apple, so I want to show you the Apple kind of a turn there, the turn that I was like, okay, this could be the market coming in for a bit of a bid. And you can see consolidation right here happens for how long? Starts around 9:50, so 9:57, so around 10 o'clock. Happens for about 2 hours with a distinct base coming in at 222.70s, 222.50s, whatever you want to call it. Right here, you can see that level kind of showing up distinctly as we make lower highs underneath VWAP, as VWAP has shown to be heavy. And take a look at that strong volume bar right here, and we finally crack that low for a pushback down. And I was like, this is pretty I guess grindy selling, and take a look at that reversion that comes in off of the low of day right here. Again, that reversion coming in off of the trend break, off of a hold on 221/2 right there for a pushback up into VWAP there. And you could observe this a bit of a turn on a lot of the constituents as well. So I was like, maybe that is poised for a turn. You can see it a little bit nicer here on the 15-minute chart. You can see that we break that consolidation. You get strong candles to the downside. The candles start to compress as, I guess, the selling starts to slow down. And then you have that strong wick back up into that 221.60s right there for a push back up. And look at that reversion, man. Extended bar all the way back up. And then nice little consolidation underneath the VWAP before another leg up. So leg, consolidation, leg through VWAP, ticking back up. The market not really as strong as this Apple move, but again, we were sold off quite extensively going in to the middle of the day here on a lot of these tickers. So gonna keep it on watch. Should be an interesting week, Sean.
You don't want to forget about this name right now, AMC right now.
Still going, still holding.
Yeah, still trying to go upside right now, trying to break through this level right here, AMC. We were just here a couple days ago, right? So you got to watch out for this 480 area, 470, but it is trying. It's giving valiant effort right now. It just touched 465. This is a 5-minute chart. Here's what it looks like on a 1. Nice move up. The way I'm going to play this, first of all, we're waiting for the TQs. It's coming back in a little bit, which is nice. Back to flat now on the futures as we hold on to that position. I always look for these kind of retracements back into the 50-period moving average. So we are gone right now on AMC, up that 8%. And I would just say for me, just looking back at some of the, whoopsies, why am I on that? Looking back now at some of these levels, that, well, like, what is this shelf here? So 5.15, let's call it $5. I mean, I know there's a big difference between 5.15 and 5, but in there, probably where AMC wants to rest its head, between 5 and 5.50. So I think if you're playing for the long trade here, this would be a good idea, something to do. Target 5.50 from here. So that would be a nice move up, right? It's about 20% higher. So I think a lot of us would probably take that if we were in AMC. So it's a nice move right now. I think it can extend a little bit more. Let's just wait to see well, let's go over. We don't have to wait for anything. Let's go over and see what AMC is doing. GME is doing in relation to this trade. All right, so GME now is pulling back. You still see it's down that 10%. Up that 10% right now, pulling back in a little bit off of that 28. We had looked at a 28 level before and noted that there could be some selling up there. But again, nice move up. There's that consolidation and there's the move back in. I don't know if we need to pay for shorts or not right now on that trade. But I'm just going to go get some orders in on the TQs. Hopefully that one will be able to last for a minute here. Here's the pushback. I do have a bid at 20 for this, just to take 5 handles out of there. We go 10% out. So we do take a bid there on this. Now we'll wait to see what winds up happening with the TQs. But there's a nice pushback in there. So happy with that trade, needless to say, on the TQs. Nice pushback in there. For us. So good trade, and we'll wait to see if there's going to be any more coming through, as now we've held on to that position. Someone was saying to me, Palantir's back to 60. Yeah, look, I mean, we like, get down TQQs. I mean, it's my only position, that and IBIT. Our IBIT stop is already ready to go. This was a great short there at 60.60, and I think even Obi, I think all of us talked about this. That was great. Like all of these touches, but you know, we take one from our friend there, Raider Trader, and next time he's on, I'll have to ask him about it. It was something about the water running dry, or you could keep going back to the well. Eventually it's empty, but he had one for the break upside as well. But at the end of the day, you know, you keep cracking on this, it's going to break. But Palantir, just such a great stock on the daily. Wouldn't be surprised that if the Nasdaq's ever down 2%, this name could go down like 7 or 8%. on a flush of the NASDAQ. So just be aware of that. Like, I'm not calling that trade that's going to happen, but I did take a little bit off there on Palantir as it's hovering around $60 right now. So just be careful with that one. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Like the name, like the play, lots to do with Palantir. But at the end of the day, if this NASDAQ ever flushes, this name will give back. I mean, so will Tesla, so will all of these names. But this one especially trading at like 50 times sales. So watch out for that. Palantir definitely well priced to the upside, even priced past perfection. What's up, Adara?
Let's take a look here at some of the bigger movers to the upside and the downside in the S&P 500 that maybe we haven't discussed yet today, or we haven't discussed as much. I usually like to do a theme for this segment. So today, what we're going to be doing is looking at some of these big moves to the upside and downside on analyst notes. So we're going to start here with Dell Technologies, DELL. Nice uptrend for this one, bouncing off lows up about 3%, getting an overweight rating maintained here by Morgan Stanley and getting its price target increased from 136 to 154. Then we have FTNT. This one is basically at day's highs here. Fortinet up about 5%. This is also a day 2 earnings move for FTNT, which reported after the bell on Thursday. But HSBC, I guess, liking this report, upgrading the stock to a buy rating and increasing its price target to $111 from a previous price of $83. And then last but not least, we have Monster Energy, much like FTNT. This is a day 2 earnings play for MNST, which is up about 3% right now, getting a price target increase from $50 to $55 from TD Cowen, which did maintain a hold rating on the stock.
Thank you, Dara. I was just showing Sean a couple of these tickers here. Now, shout out to the chat for pointing this out. I did kind of have this on my watch list over the weekend, but then I got distracted with Tesla and some of the crypto names that did start to run after Bitcoin start to push a little bit higher. But we're talking about Moderna. Moderna, day 3 earnings today. Interesting price action, to say the least. Since earnings, you look at that. Earnings, you kind of pop. It's a bit of a I guess a nothing burger off of that earnings report. Pretty much closes in and around the same price as it was trading at in the prior couple of weeks. But take a look at this aggressive selling that's been going on. Sure, it's doing relative volume, but again, on a double beat off of its earnings, getting sold off aggressively. Day 1 closes near day lows. Day 2 closes near day lows. Today is day 3, guys, and take a look at this. We only have about less than 30 minutes until the close, and it is literally trading at the low of day right here as of right now. Day open was in and around 46.70s, trading at 42.30s. Oh boy, this is definitely a missed trade, a missed opportunity for me, and just a continuation trade. Every day you open near the high a day and you close near the low a day is clear aggressive selling happening on this name. Taking a look at a higher time frame as well, you can see how it's been cracking some of these prior levels. Not only has it been getting sold off since the beginning of August, since prior earnings, you can see that prior earnings they get sold off quite aggressively, sideways for a couple, I guess, for a month or so, and then continues that selling. And then off of this earnings, that continuation coming in pretty aggressively once again. So interesting look there on Moderna with that downtrend happening. I just want to take a quick look back and see when we traded these prices last. Oh boy, Sean.
Oh boy.
Talk about a full-on recovery all the way back down. I remember when Moderna was trading sub $10. That's in and around the time, or sorry, sub $20, sub in the tens and teens, right? So I was like, that's in and around the time where I kind of started dabbling in the stock market right there, all the way up to 497 in the COVID, I guess the COVID pop, whatever you want to call it, right place at the right time, kind of supplying some of those vaccines. But look at that slow, steady bleed as the volume never really got back to what we were trading, some of the volume that was traded in 2020, 2021, and 22, and that slow, steady fade all the way back down. And look at this. This is a weekly chart, man. Steady, back-to-back weeks, just straight reds here on Moderna. So talk about a beautiful, beautiful swing short on this. I'm sure Pfizer is looking relatively similar as well. A little bit of a stronger ticker as it's held more of its highs there. And again, you can see 1991 into the dot-com boom. You can see the extension that Pfizer had into some of those days, and then more euphoric times, it got that extension once again, but holding some of these prior levels. But again, taking back a lot of those prices that we haven't seen since 2019, 2020 here on Pfizer as well. But Moderna is definitely a lot more significant in terms of its retracement there. Again, almost a $500 top, trading much, much lower there on Moderna. So are we going to get the same tomorrow? I don't know. Maybe not. I've already talked about it today. So more often than not, when I say things out loud, they kind of stop happening. So we'll have to see tomorrow if it kind of follows suit and continues to get sold off. But the thing is that selling has been happening for weeks on end. So maybe looking for more of the same coming into tomorrow. I like to keep an eye on some of these, like, back burner trades. Sure, we're trading the Teslas and the Nvidias, but something like Moderna, if you know that it's following a kind of pattern, you just leave it on and just let it run. You can risk the opening range high. It's shown you that we can do that for the past 3 days. I don't know if it's going to happen the fourth day or not, but again, you can find definitely a place to get involved and risk some sort of a prior bar.
I was going to say that we, talk about that. We had Moderna written down on the sticky note last week there. It's going to look bad because of where it's at now, but remember, we lost in a long $55. But the idea was looking at names that are in play, and I think that you nailed it right there with that one as well. So, all right, just real quick, the TQs. We had 2 outs right there as we fell back in. We talked about that. We got 2 more 18s or whatever it was down there as we get a little bit lighter now as the market into power hour. Seems like there's not too much power, but at the end of the day, it seems like we're just ramping to zeros now. And you can't look at any of these things without looking at eSignal, right? And so eSignal, again, very, very powerful tool. We want to thank you to eSignal and thank you guys for clicking on that QR code and helping us with an affiliate here and eSignal. And you click on that, you get your free trial. Look, I mean, for me, eSignal, I don't really even have to sell this, I hope, because it's just real-time data. It's lightning fast. The back testing is so super legit. They also have all of those screeners, tick charts, any kind of chart you want to. I could demo them right here, right now. Maybe we'll do that soon. But as you can go, these hot lists, me and Obi were just talking about that. He sees me looking over here. Find which names are hot right now, volume-wise. You can sort them by trade rate, volume rate, 52-week highs, anything you want. It's completely customizable. There's nothing in your way if you're using eSignal charts. So I would just say, again, great customer support and everything, but they are affiliated with us, so make sure you scan that QR code. Go tell them you came from here and you want the best available, and they'll hook you up right there. So that is eSignal. Again, something that we really like, and we're willing to support it over here. Everybody on the show eventually, I mean, this seat has it. I know you're into something else right now, TradingView, but again, very, very great platform, and I think everyone should check that out. All right, so we're almost stopped out of this. We're not averaging into this anymore. Our stop is a break of 40s. So right now, one more breakthrough on the TQQs, and we'll have to, unfortunately, stop ourselves out. So right there, we are now stopped out of this trade on the TQs as it breaks a little bit higher. Positive, but at the end of the day, breaks there. Not much happening into the futures, I feel like, but still, we got to respect it in case this does start to rip our faces off here at the end of the day. What a good out it was, apparently, on Apple. We talked about that one. I mean, we got out right there, and that saved us 30, 40 cents. We got out on a break there of 40s, touches out to 80s. So pretty decent there. Not happy losing, obviously, waiting out for this trade, but I thought the futures would sort of come back in. Does not appear to be happening at all. Be a positive day for us today, but unfortunately, shorting Apple and shorting Qs into this last move was not a profitable one. So yeah, that's that. What else do you guys want to do right now? I mean, I already feel a little sad that the missed trade for me right now was Palantir. Yeah. But we're coming right back up to that right now. Nice move. Someone just said, what about 60? What about this? Am I going to make the mistake of shorting this one as well? We could get this. Right now, it's kind of worth it, right? Risk to reward right now on Palantir, bringing this back into the downside. I mean, if the futures do come in, we know that we'll be able to have a winner. Let's just punch short now on Palantir. So our average price is 44.5 right now. I'm going to give it to 62. So we'll take another piece if we get into like 55s, and then we'll just give this in and around 62. Try to see if this wants to go back through this level. Unfortunately, I feel playing a little silly now because the market seems to want to rip. and going short might not be the right thing, but back into 60 is definitely possible. Back into the 50 period is definitely possible. So that gives us a nice little ratio right there on PLTR. So a break up there through this high, and I think, oh, Obi, this means?
New position.
New position alert.
Let's go.
So we are new position alert. We just took it right in front of you. It's going to be Palantir. Let's hope that our first trade on this name today is not a losing one, and it's not right now as we're short at 44 halves.
You know, both Bears versus Bulls and Nick W asking, can I take a look at snow when I get a chance? Sure, take a look at snow right now. Again, I don't know what it's been doing, not really doing any sort of relative volume, but kind of a sideways consolidation all day. Beautiful range happening here, a bit of range compression as well, probably orbiting around VWAP. You can see some of these lower highs and higher lows as well as it compresses in and around this VWAP. So that begs the question, what are we looking like coming into today? So that's what I want to ask right here. So go straight to the 3-hour or higher time frame right here. I like the 3-hour and the hourly charts because it encompasses both the intraday and the pre-market and after hours action, and you can see kind of the volume bars relative to all those time frames as well, or all those I guess sessions. Better word to kind of call them right here. So yeah, we've been kind of creating a base on top of this 110. It seems like this 107 is a little distinct. You have a triple test of that. Again, aggressive bid coming in on the initial test. The second couple of tests holding it down before we trade a little bit higher here. But again, you got to remember where this thing is coming from. If I remember correctly, snowflake is definitely has fallen from the clouds. For sure, 490, 429 here, a bit of a double top action in and around the 400s right there, trading pretty much near all-time lows there. Sure, 20 points, about 15 points above that all-time low, 107.13s, but trading near there nonetheless. So let's see, are we poised for a little bit of a curl up? I have no idea, but again, that's the picture on this ticker here. You can see bigger time frame, we've been trading lower and lower, lower highs as well. Look at this aggressive, a lot of this aggressive volume coming in on these strong sells here, and maybe not as aggressive, but you can see expanding volume when on this flush all the way back down before it kind of stabilizes here in and around those 100s, 110s right here on Snowflake. But interesting action on the day today, bit of a consolidation sideways range. What does it mean? I have absolutely no idea, but that's the look on it.
All right, with earnings Canada, and shout out someone in the chat there. Someone tagged me. There it is. Oh, Kyle. Yeah, I did actually. I sold very, very small pieces of Google today and Palantir there, Kyle. So we are trying to rebalance a little bit out of tech, but it just went into tech. Into cash right now. So we'll wait to see where we go with that play right now coming in there. So we'll have to wait on that one. All right. So I can't find. Oh, there it is right here. D-Loaf. What's up, D-Loaf? There's the question right there. Do we have any thoughts about Shopify earnings? Where's the risk and what does it look like? So
that's tonight or tomorrow? Tomorrow, I think.
Believe it's tomorrow morning. Okay. So yeah, basically right now. All right. So a good little level there for Shopify. Watch out for this. I mean, look at this move upside. What I always like to do here, and wherever we're talking about some of these names, is sort of look at the peers, right? I mean, Shopify is well up. You can look at a PayPal or a Square. We've seen Block make some moves. At the end of the day, you're running right into this level right here, right now. So that could be a level of concern. I think anybody looking at Shopify has to look at this 92, 93 area, and that's right where we're coming into here. So again, an aggressive move for Shopify. I would say what you're looking for is something that we'll have to find out what the expected move on it is. I can look at that up on our Market Chameleon in just a minute. But I think you're getting ready to get something out. If you're in it right now expecting for a beat, I think that's great. We always want to see some beats. But at the end of the day, would we really be surprised if we're down back down and around here tomorrow on some kind of a miss? I mean, I think everyone's doing well in the space, but you're topping out now on Shopify. So pigs get slaughtered, and I think in this situation, you want to be careful that if you're still in it waiting for a good report, that potentially you're out. But where's the risk? I mean, we've already bounced off the 50 period. Generally speaking, we'd rather be a little closer to this to be able to assess how far down, because you don't want to go from 90 back down to 75. That would be a pretty disastrous play right there. So I think right now, looking to break through 70, $80, I guess that's 78. So 80 to me, if you're looking for puts, something around there. If you're looking to sort of bid something, I think that's a good bid area. And then, breaking higher, look at what PayPal's been doing lately as well. We talked about examples with Square and so on and so forth, but look at PayPal just continuously, once it loads, same kind of a move to the upside without earnings. So if they didn't have earnings, I think we could continue higher. And again, some of these reports have been pretty strong, so I think we'll have to wait out for that. Square, another name right there. Let's just have a quick look. Palantir is starting to rip now. So all these shorts into the close don't seem to be working out. $84 for Square. Again, look at this move upside. So yeah, we're coming right into it. Web seems to be hot. And again, think about all the technology that's out there. We have crypto, Square, next thing you know, they're going to be accepting crypto payments. Maybe they already do on their little tablet there that you can pay with at the, like a Toast or something like that, which obviously runs the business side of things on restaurants. Now you have these little pads for Square, tap and go and get out of there. So, I think the sky's the limit for a lot of these companies. All right. So anyways, I like the stock. I just think it's a little silly to not get something out there, and I will check the imbalance, first of all, it's 345 already. The imbalances are coming out. I got to get the heck out of Palantir, man. I don't think we want to be in this name with these imbalances coming. So now I'm short. We have a position. Our average price is 60.49s, as you can see right there. So oopsies, that's the TQs, my bad. Here it is right here. So we're basically flat on this trade. Average price 60.49. Let's put a little bit more out. Remember, we're getting stopped out if it breaks that 65 level.
And then I'm just looking at some of the names I had on watch this morning. And yeah, a lot of missed trades on my part, man. We were talking about that FTNT in the morning session. Day 2 earnings today, and now again, very, very strong close on day 1. Another double beat name right here, pushing up higher right there. You can see earnings day 1. You kind of push past that 80, 82 mark. Close pretty much near high of day, and look at the open coming in today. Aggressive bid right back up through those pre-market highs, can't even break back below the closing price of prior day, and continues to push up. Now again, you're right, we only have less than 15 minutes left until the closing bell, and this one is poised to close near high of day once again today on earnings day 2 on Fortinet. So I'm not too familiar with what these guys do, but the price action is definitely super, super strong off of the earnings. Again, earnings reaction high was in and around 88.91. We break that. A little sideways consolidation, grind up into the close. Strong continuation on the day today, up about almost 5.5% on the day today is FTNT. So aggressive kind of action there coming in. Here comes Disney as well. I've been holding this one for quite a while, but it's coming right back up into the range highs here. So day high sitting at 64s, 164s. We're trading at 154s, and yeah, you're right. Only 4 minutes left, Sean, until those closing imbalances come in. But a bit of a tight, not necessarily tight, but a bit of a strong range here happening on Disney. We've made a bit of a flat top here in the 60s. We are making higher lows, is what I have to potentially respect. But like I said, I'm going to give it the risk that I initially intended to give it here. But again, if I get stopped out, that's perfectly fine. Only about 3.5 minutes or 2.5 minutes left until these imbalances come in, John. So don't really have too much else on watch. Again, ARK was another name, ARKK, innovation ETF right here. Off of the open, nice strong drive, but pretty much sideways and consolidating since then. So pretty much dead since about, what is this? I would say about 12 o'clock, around noon time. Hasn't really done too much, anything too crazy. Here comes Disney up into the highs. Probably going to stop me out soon enough if we get through that day high. Going on? Well,
we could have got out for Palantir for flat. It's never gone in the money for us at all. The futures, I feel like we did right by trying to call this move to the downside there. We are stopped out of the futures, of course, as look what just happened here. That's too bad. Again, but sometimes if you don't wait for the right prices, you don't get the right thing. So right there, next time, let's just be a little more patient, I guess, and wait for VWAP. But at the end of the day, here comes Palantir. Look, I thought the short could have been something else. And I didn't even realize how close we are to these imbalances. And so we are going to get stopped out for sure, I would think, on these imbalances right now. I didn't even look at these. I should have looked at these first. It's absolutely ridiculous not to have done that. But here we go, upside for Palantir. Looks like we will get stopped out of these last pieces. There it is, this last piece of, that was the first trade we took on Palantir today. Sucks, man. There's 15 cents down the drain on Palantir. I mean, I'm super happy with it. The fact that it's going up is nice. But these are the imbalances that we have to deal with right now heading into the close. So we should have been a little more reasonable with what we were doing there into the close, because that was quite silly to take that this close to it, but we're fine with it. IBIT still a nice move up. We'll see if we can break a little bit higher. That's been a good trade all day with only now 1 minute left before these imbalances. Let's just stay on Palantir and see what winds up happening. We have Apple, we have Nvidia right now, 145 and change. I want to make sure I don't have any stop orders. We have Tesla trying to still get to that 350, but here we go, man, only 30 seconds left, and then we will wait to see what goes through with these imbalances. And these are just market on close trades. So as they come, a buy on Palantir, I mean, I don't see any rate. Oh, there it is right there. Yeah. See? So again, just really silly for me to have stepped in there, seeing, not having a look at some of these imbalances. So I lost track of time, but at the same time, we got stopped out, which is fine.
10 seconds.
10 cents, 14 cents or so on that. But here we go. With only 10 seconds left now, we'll wait to see where we're going, and it is going to be Palantir fun. 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3, 2. This market's not closed. We're just getting an update right now to see what does happen.
Boom.
And of course, Palantir goes to the downside right now into 50s. Again, this was a level that, we were at right now. So that's what can happen to you when you're trading imbalances, right? IBIT comes with a sell. We do have our target out. When that hits, we'll be out of that one. But yeah, Palantir boohoo for me, as it looks like it wants to maybe come back in, right back into 50s and held. So watch out for that one. MSTR also a sell.
Ooh.
For those of you looking at that one with Michael Saylor and whatnot, that could be the sell that we're talking about coming back in. Look at that gap, 350 down to 340 right now for MSTR. IBIT TLT with a bid. AbbVie had some sort of a miss this morning on a trial. Snapchat, we had their earnings last week as well, I believe. That's making the move down today, almost back to zeros on Snapchat. But yeah, not too many huge names. Did Tesla do anything there? Not really. Yeah, kind of uneventful, to be honest with you.
Not really doing too much there.
Yeah, kind of an uneventful move there.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
you're not in anything either. Okay.
No, I'm not in anything. I got stopped out of that Disney. That Disney ripped up into the high a day right before those imbalances came out. Now taking a little bit higher here. 173
through
on
highs.
Disney. Yeah.
Yeah, Palantir and IBIT. I mean, IBIT right now at 49.80. You know what, guys? Maybe we just get out of IBIT. I mean, IBIT just continues to make this move higher and higher and higher. Let's just offer out at 83. If we get them, then we get them. And there it is. We get 83s, or 83s, sorry. And now we are out right there. Now it's at 84. So we get our 83 fill right there on IBIT, giving us this major, major winner on very, very small shares at the end of the day. But IBIT up 14% as Bitcoin 87.3 does not want to stop. Palantir, nice move. Apple, nice move into the close. I mean, this is really great. I think this is a great sign for tomorrow. Anybody want to go long tomorrow? Yeah. I think you might be right. We're not closing anywhere near the lows. And in fact, we're closing near highs. And I don't mean highs of the day. We're not closing near highs. But this is a nice take of VWAP. We haven't spent a minute over VWAP all day. Don't look right here. But, if we can, but at the end of the day, we're doing it right now, and it's at close. At close is going to be a lot more important than right there at 10:30. But let's see if we can hold this. It's really nice to see. The market seems to have bought itself right back up into some of these levels again. So good holds if you're long. Nice tries if you're short. We just tried there for Palantir. Did not work. We gave some back, even though it's hovering in and around this area. So yeah, man, to the downside. So maybe some profit taking into earnings. I don't blame anybody up 198 this year, 198%. As that goes, VWAP means volume weighted average price. We have LYV tonight. We have Laser, LAZR tonight. So that's Luminar Technologies. Not a big one, but again, implied move over 20%. So watch out for this name today. Grab, another name coming in tonight as well. Grab Holdings, we could wait out for that one. Implied move over 10%. Not too much. And then we have Shopify. We said we would look at the implied move for Shopify. So let me just pull that up for you just real quick. That's not going to work. There it is right now, today the 11th. It's coming tomorrow, right? So we'll have to look at November 12th. Here's Shopify right there, November 12th before market open. As Adair mentioned, 13% move for Shopify. So we will wait to see if it can break that high. I like it here at $94, but if you're going to move 10% on Shopify, that has us breaking through $100 tomorrow for Shopify if it works, right? 10% move up gets us in and around that $100 mark. So I thought it was worth taking some profits as Shopify's right back at this 92 level. So, all right, Obi, any last second thoughts here? It's going to be Sharif and Adara on the closing show.
Yeah, no, I was kind of, I remember we were talking about SMR a little bit earlier, and I did notice that it had quite an aggressive bid coming into the midday session all the way up into about 3:30 right here. And I saw it kind of crack this trend here. And I was like, all right, is this setting up for a potential reversion? I'm like, all right, it's getting a little late in the day. I don't necessarily want to get involved just yet, even though it is kind of setting up. And look at that beautiful, beautiful flush that's coming in right now off of the trend break right here. Can't really get past that day high either. Again, aggressive bid since about, what is this? You have some strong volume coming in and around 1042, and then we break that consolidation high at 11. We break and hold above VWAP around 1230, and then we caught a nice strong bid all the way up to 24 halves as of right now before cracking and coming right back down. VWAP sitting at 2291, man, with only about 5 minutes left. Can it go another 30 pennies to the downside? That aggressive selling with that increased volume coming into the close. I don't know what the imbalance on this ticker is as of right now, but if I were to take a wild guess, Sean, might be a little bit of a sell. Regardless, the action is definitely selling off in towards VWAP here going into the close. So that's kind of what I was just watching there, just watching the tape on that, watching the chart on that. A bit of a missed trade on my part, but I'm not really necessarily going to chase it down. With only about, I guess, 5 minutes left, I have nothing else on the board that I'm really watching for. A lot of people keep talking about Soundhound. I was watching that one as well. Yep. Yeah, they do report pretty soon here. Again, they were pretty strong on the day today after the morning flush. Again, coming up into day highs as of right now. Not necessarily pre-market highs just yet. Pre-market high is sitting at 792. We're trading at 779 as of right now. But look at that bid coming in all day. A bit of a sideways action for majority of the day. But again, if you're playing some of these trend breaks, if you're looking for VWAP holds right here, it definitely gave you some of that going into the end of the day. Now, again, this is a ticker that's held by Nvidia. One of Nvidia's subsidiaries is Soundhound. So definitely got to watch. Keep an eye on that. Again, another one of Nvidia's subsidiaries is ARM. You can see ARM looking distinctly different, more towards the downside right here. A bit of strong volume coming in at the day low, 138.69 on ARM. What's the other one? RXRX is another one, Recursion Pharmaceuticals. Again, another subsidiary of Nvidia here. Strong move off the open, pulls back in, coming back into VWAP here as well. I know there's one more. There's Soundhound, there's ARM, there's RXRX. I know I'm forgetting one of them, but it'll come back to me. Maybe somebody in the chat will. Serve? Is it Serve? CRV? No, I don't think. Serve Robotics, maybe, perhaps. I have no idea. But you know what? I'll take a quick look at what that is. And I think Nick W. A bunch of people saying Serve, so it is Serve, I guess. Yeah, no, I had to check that one there. So Serve Robotics is that last subsidiary. Aggressive selling off of the open, holding VWAP, pushing to high a day as of right now as we come into a close with only about roughly 2.5 minutes left till the closing bell. So I got nothing on watch. Pretty crazy day today, especially with Tesla, man.
I can't even stop trading. I'm short Palantir again. All right, so I have a bid now at 30. There it is. Whatever. Let's just go bang for degenerate trading. All right, so I really thought I was going to be right here, and we said that we didn't want to get into like degeneration. By the way, what's up to Degeneration X right now? Sharif, did you hear that? DX? Okay. My bad. All right, here we go. Let's go, man. Let's spin it one more time here. One last money spin with only 2 minutes left. There we go. We have that little bit of confidence here. Not enough to like load into the trade, but we'll see if we can bid out some 27s here. There we go. We get the 27s as we fall back in. So here's that 20-cent winner or so on Palantir. Again, if you have trailed me into it, I had sort of said that it was my bad trying to get into this, into 350. That we got stopped out at 350 right there, or right before it. Then 350 hits, a little bit of a wash on that bid. Again, once that bid is gone, then it's a flush. So we actually went short there at 55s, 54s on hopefully that flip over. So now we are almost out of all of these shares as it comes in, only a minute and a half left. And again, remember, Obi and myself and all the traders here want to thank everybody for coming through again today. And, we're lucky enough to be with Obi all week. So Obi will be sitting with me all week. That should be a lot of fun. I'll be back on the recap desk for the rest of the week. We're really happy and thankful to have Sharif and Adara back together. They're going to be on that desk as well. Here we go. Let's go, Palantir. I'm waiting for 20 cents. Actually, we're at 23s. There it is, man. a good number there, 23 for Jordan. Nice move to the downside there. Yay sports, right?
Go sports.
Michael Jordan, think about Michael Jordan he's a very, very famous shoemaker.
Wear the glasses like the girl does in the video.
By the way, I think if anybody can deal with ray gun, it would be you. Who's Ray Gun? You know who Ray Gun is. Stop acting like that. Get some help. Stop acting. Get some help, Obi. Okay. That's the world's greatest breakdancer. She is now retired from Australia.
Is that okay? That's the name. Oh boy.
Yeah. You know. Yeah. I'm saying.
Yeah. My trading looked like a little bit of her dancing today.
Did it? Okay. All right. Well, we'll be back tomorrow, and you'll be breakdancing. I mean, her dancing did get her to the Olympics, remember. Will our trading get there? I do not know. Over 10 seconds left, under 10 now. This is brought to you by WorkSport. Make sure you download that QR code and grab that investor deck today. 3, 2, and 1. That's it. We are now closed. What a day right there. Join us tomorrow as we will watch Obi breakdance against Ray Gun with a fancy blue. We don't have to do that. Green screen of death. You could put Ray Gun.
That would take 100 super chats.
That could probably happen. So I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't want. Thank you, Bears versus Bulls. Very, very kind words. Okay, look. Great day, Obi. Good day today.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
we'll make calls tomorrow. Tesla was super fun in the morning there.
Yes.
We had Palantir slip up there at the end and got it back there at the close, and we'll trade more and more names. iBit, wow. Bitcoin today, 87,000. All right, Luminar's now out. Laser's now out as some of these are going through. So you let me know, Fabian, when you want to throw back over there as some of the earnings are out. We have Michael Noss coming on the after show. We have Sharif on the recap show. We have Adara on the recap show. And it looks like Fabian will be switching, so there won't be any problems. All right, let's go. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to Bears versus Bulls and everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Ciao till then. Recap show. Let's go.
Subtle dug at Ram. I love that way that we edited the show that way. Welcome everyone to the Market Recap Show. They said the team wasn't going to be back together. They were wrong. They were back together.
Yep.
Don't worry about it, Ram.
Where are they?
Ram's trying to talk off camera there. Take it easy there, Ram. What a great day on these markets. We didn't have too much in the way of movement there on the NQ and the ES, a little flat, both of them. But we had definite movement, Fabian, here on the Dow. The Dow up another 2/3 of a percentage, breaking into all-time highs. It seems to be saying that every day. Russell, 1.5% as this one breaks through a key technical support level, 2,400 Adara. We weaseled up into 24.55, 1.5% for the Russ. But the big winner on the day, let's call a spade a spade. Bitcoin, 10%. Adara, all-time highs, 87,500. Actually broke through that. Great look today, up over 10%. What do you think about all this?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Bitcoin move is really wild. I also think one of the biggest, maybe not losers, but one of the bigger disappointments of the day is going to be some of these AI and chip-related names. Now, I had said to you off camera a couple minutes before we joined you here, basically, I'm seeing apparently Nikkei saying that, reporting that Japan is looking to roll out $65 billion here in support of AI and semis. So keep an eye on the chip space. AMD got a little bit of a volume spike to the upside before the close, but not much movement there, but it's worth noting. Looks like there's going to be some more investments there. We also had MPWR. I was telling you about that monolithic power here, which was down about 15% as of the close, initially down about 20%. Basically, some reports here from a research analyst suggesting that Nvidia is going to cut some of their business. So there were some big movements to the downside on in some of these chips. And also, Kyle Burdett, thank you for the $5 super chat saying the boys are back in town. Everybody's back.
Hey.
Let's do this thing here. We got some earnings on watch as
I got
well.
it right here.
So let's get going.
LAZR, guys, big move up in the aftermarket. Already 30%, $1.18 going here. LAZR, Luminar Technologies. They reported right at the hour. Revenue estimate was supposed to be about $18.25 million. It was a negative EPS here, according to what the market was predicting. The implied move 20.8% Adara, and the previous move was a negative 37.5. Thank you for preparing all that, by the way. We already got a bump up, but I gotta tell you, I was looking at this one before the bell, and it was already above $1. So let's not gauge the breakout area quite yet. Let's continue to watch and see what we get with this. I don't have any specific details quite yet about how they did. Let's see what this bad boy says over here. Yeah, this one coming out not right at 12. So I'm still not seeing any details with respect to how they did on earnings. So we'll hold off on that, and then we'll let you know exactly how they did. We're waiting for Live Nation at 4:05, and that should be in about a minute or so. LYV slated to report at 4:05.
I'm not seeing the numbers, but they got a big spike to the upside here in volume. At the end of the day, up about 1.63%. So we'll have to see if these earnings are going to be live one or a dead one, but we don't know quite yet. Again, we're waiting about a minute here. The other big report or report of interest, Grab Holdings, but I'm not seeing that they're scheduled to report until 6:45 p.m.
Oh, wow.
Now, sometimes Unity, we thought we wouldn't get till 5:45 on Thursday, and it came early. So it could come early, but just to be aware, Grab might be something you're able to grab here while we're on the show.
Right,
Before we get Michael Noss at 4:15, we'll find out.
What happened to no punning on the big desk?
Yeah.
It's aftermarket.
Arrest,
There's
chung
new
chung.
rules.
Yeah, no, I'm
New
joking. Yeah,
rules.
we're back. We're gonna see what happens here. But yeah, LYV, I want to see what happens with those earnings.
All right, let's talk about Tesla. I mean, yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Fabian's got you back. Tesla, guys, big move up, 8.84%. Essentially, we were dancing with 10% the majority of the day. Let's talk about how this one did. I mean, we broke several technical levels. We took 300 out to end the week. Today, we take out 350. We get up to 358 and 2/3. We close a smidge below that 350, so it's still a technical resistance level, but we're at 349, high 349, so fantastic look there. But it wasn't the only continuation play. Donald John Trump, aka DJT, was in focus today, 4% again, still well off the highs, but DJT was, or is, I should say, remains on watch after the election last week. We also have earnings coming up tomorrow. Shop. You mentioned this to the boys to end the show there. Shopify is supposed to be reporting tomorrow morning, and it just took out $90 on the day, so it had a big breakout. Adara, we were talking about this one being at $78 to start the month. Now we just broke through 92. What a move up.
I remember trading this during its last report at like $60. Like, time really flies, and people are certainly buying up Shopify, loading that one up in their cart. But the other earnings move, though, this is going to be a bit later in the week, and shout out to Obi for trading this one. Disney, DIS, that one ended up kind of ranging all day, but we did have that volume spike in the morning on no catalyst, so people are getting really excited for this earnings season. We've got a lot of Chinese ADR earnings later this week as well. JD and Billy, Thursday before the open, then on Friday, we're going to be getting the big dog, Alibaba, before the open. So definitely some earnings here, though. It's not going to be the biggest of earnings weeks, of course.
And to build on your point about Disney, Adara, because it is going to be a big boy earnings report tomorrow, 1.9% today, but taking out a key technical level, Fabian, $100. Took that out. It's basically at the highs right now, $100.90. Disney, fantastic look. You know, obviously, we've seen Netflix really do well, the king of the streamers. We'll have to see if Disney can continue to ride that way, but it's been a nice pop back up. Let's just look at how they were trading back in August, and even to start the month out in September, we were in the mid-80s. Now we just broke through 100, like I said, so good look right now for Disney. But there's tons of S&P 500 names that were on the downside. It wasn't only just strength today. Humana, you put here, down 2%. They dropped big. There was also Cigna, CIG, that also had a bit of a drop there, or it finished about a little bit higher there, about 1.5%, but it was trading lower than that for the majority of the day. AbbVie as well, ABBV, there we go. This one sank by more than 10% after the schizophrenia, trial failed to meet endpoints. What do you know about that?
Yeah, I know that apparently $9 billion was spent on that drug and trial from what I was reading. And BMY, Bristol Myers Squibb, which they also have their own schizophrenia drug, which has been FDA approved. They got a nice little pop in, I guess, antipathy or sympathy, depending on what you want to say. But we also do have LYV earnings here, Live Nation. So I'm seeing your revenue of $7.7 billion that I'm reading their report. I was seeing analyst estimates of $7.91 billion, but again, these don't always compare. So again, $7.7 billion versus estimates here of $7.91 billion. Now, I'm trying to see what their earnings per share were, but they did say they have their highest ever concert probability with adjusted operating income up 39% 39% here year over year, and 7.2% margin, which is apparently up more than 200 basis points. Also up apparently 9% increase here for Venue Nations fans spending more on site in amphitheaters. There's a lot of really specific margins here, but generally it seems like we have some positive reactions here from traders. They are up about 6.5% on the day. Also, side note, I'm seeing here from Bloomberg, apparently Tesla has just finished its largest 5-day rally in 4 years, up a cool 9% as of today's close. Again, if I see anything else from LYV, I will let you guys know.
And it's already running in the aftermarket. We were just talking about how it rejected that $350 level. Well, it's about $3 above that now. $352.75. Good look for Tesla. It's working its way back into 10%. I mean, I don't really anticipate anything different than that, but we'll keep eyes on TSLAs. Let's talk about how some of the watch list items did today. Palantir was in focus. It's been in focus for a while. They broke all-time highs again today. We got word that they were teaming up with Amazon Web Services. Who else was involved? It was
Anthropic.
Thank you, Anthropic. So they're going to use Anthropic's Claude LLM to be able to help some of the U.S. government achieve some of its goals. There are going to be some prohibited areas where they won't be able to use it. Some others where it's going to be fair game. But good look over here, taking out that all-time high, $62.08. I mean, I went on vacation on Wednesday last week, and when I left this thing, it was $45 Adara. So now it's $62.
That's how I guess stocks only go up, as we say. Yeah, Palantir certainly just climbing up another tier there after, I guess, the continued earnings reaction. And I think that one's kind of considered a Trump trade as well, because we know Alex Karp thoughts on the Defense Department, or should I say the Offense Department.
Oh,
also, I do have the official Live Nation numbers. So, yeah, they did end up missing estimates here. I guess their adjusted sales coming in at $6.751 billion. If you recall, their official report said $7.7 billion, but apparently $7.61 billion here, missing estimates of $7.74 billion. GAAP earnings per share of $1.66 came in line. But as we said earlier, I guess a lot of their individual smaller metrics were positive here. Like I said, 39% year-over-year increase in profitability from concerts, which apparently is their highest ever.
Fantastic. Look, let's talk about SMCI. Another negative day today for SMCI to the tune of 5.6% today. We got more word about problems. It looks like they're pausing construction of a new factory in Malaysia, which has some companies that took orders from SMCI pulling the orders. Essentially, a company by the name of YTL basically pulling their order from Supermicro, where they were slated to get servers, including Nvidia's AI processors. They're going to go with a different company now out of Taiwan. So SMCI suffering not just from the accounting perspective, but now it looks as if, they're going to have to put up with some customers pulling their orders. In addition to that, they do face delisting here. They have to get their ducks in a row by mid-November. Otherwise, they will be delisted from the NASDAQ. And if they get delisted from the NASDAQ, it's going to have financial implications to the tune of about $1.75 billion bonds, or sorry, not bonds, corporate bonds that they issued to some holders that will actually have to be paid back if they are delisted. So that will fundamentally affect some of their balance sheets. And Ernst & Young still continues to want nothing to do with them. Yeah,
their auditor is gone. A lot of analysts also stepped away. They were like, we don't really want any part of that, which is pretty telling. Like some analysts just did downgrades, but others were like, I think Rosenblatt withdrew their rating. But SMCI, I think one thing that's pretty interesting about hello, Obi. I think one thing that's pretty interesting about, shout out to Ramin and Fabian for killing it. There's a lot going on here. But I think with SMCI is apparently they've given up all of their year-to-date gains. And keep in mind, this thing, we saw this make new all-time highs. That one day it ran up over $400. Then, of course, we got into the thousands. Then we split. The epic rise and fall of SMCI it was super, brutal. And it was not micro.
No, it was not a super down move. We've got Michael Moss, but I wanted to cover one more thing here. Taiwan Semiconductor. A bit of a tougher day for Taiwan Semi. 3.5%. How come? Well, it looks as if, the Minister of Industry in Taiwan is prohibiting Taiwan Semi from producing any 2-nanometer chips outside Taiwan. And why is that important? Well, because they're building a facility in Arizona with taxpayer dollars, mind you, that they're supposed to be building chips at, so we can repatriate nearshore, onshore, friendshore, whatever type of shoring you want to call it. They want to bring back the supply chain so that it is in a more predictable area, and that won't be for the 2-nanometer chips. So the market not liking that today, 3.5%. Separately for Taiwan Semi, there were also issues with Chinese companies, specifically Huawei, getting their hands on TSM's chips. So it was a bit of a tougher look there, as we'll have to see exactly how that all pans out. But is Michael Noss ready? All right, bring in the Noss boss. There he is. Shout out to you, Michael Noss. How are you, my man?
I'm doing fantastic. It's hard not to have a smile on your face in this market, to be honest.
Look, I don't want to I don't want to let your head explode or anything like that, but it was a couple of weeks ago that you called this breakout on Bitcoin, and I put you to the sword, Michael. I said, what is the measured move? And you gave a lofty number, but I bet you're feeling a little bit better about that now.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't have that chart up right here, but
pull it up.
There's yes, I do. There's a best case scenario and a worst case scenario, depending on how you want to measure this. So yes, the breakout has been fantastic. And if you measure the move from the base of the cup out to the breakout, which is classical technical analysis, you're talking 300,000 a coin. That's pretty crazy, pretty lofty. Another way that I actually just did this today, and it's probably a little bit more reasonable, is with a Fibonacci extension. So everyone knows about Fibonacci retracements. If it goes up and then it pulls back to one of these numbers, maybe it's a number to take a look at. This is the same thing, but just maybe projecting a move out. It's very hard to have a target when things are hitting new all-time highs. So this is one way that technicians do it. And that Fibonacci projection sitting around $100,000 a coin. And I think I've heard everybody in the world say they're going to sell their Bitcoin at $100,000 a coin. So that might make a little bit more sense. But for you hardcore people, that 300,000 a coin on that measured move is pretty lofty. But hey, it's Bitcoin. Could happen.
Trader here who's very happy to hear that 300,000 price target there. I got a couple of questions for you, Michael. One, I want to put a statement to you. I was listening on the weekend to one of my favorite pods, and they were talking about fund managers who aren't involved currently in Bitcoin. They're going to be sounding the panic alarm when this thing hits 100. So you brought up a really good point. You're like saying everybody and their mother's third cousin is going to want to sell at 100. What I was hearing was the FOMO's really going to kick in, especially with institutional level money once we get to that 100 and they don't have exposure. What are your thoughts on that?
I'll have a little counter to that. Yes, in the long run, if Bitcoin's going to become a thing and it's going to be 1% of everyone's portfolio, that is a huge tailwind for it. But what people I don't think are thinking enough of is that allocation number. So let's say, for example, I have put some of my clients' money in Bitcoin at 40,000, and I put that 1% in. And the idea is that I want to keep crypto being 1% of the portfolio for that kind of that risk. Well, Bitcoin's doubled. So now that 1% is 2%. So for me to reallocate to get to this allocation, which is what a lot of fund managers do, of 60% this, 40% this, 35% this, and my 1% crypto, well, now I have to sell some. And what happens is as things become more institutionalized and you get these fund managers and everything in place, generally volatility starts to decrease a little bit, because as something rockets, you have the institution starting to sell, and as things dip, you have the institution starting to buy. So there's a possibility that we could see some of that, where this breakout could be a little bit less than the ones before it. And I am seeing a lot of people, and if we go back, we can really look at some of these breakouts before, right? We had this first breakout that went from 1,000 to 17,000. So that's a 17x. Then we had this breakout that went from 10,000 up to 85,000. So that's like an 8x. So if they continue to shrink like this, maybe a 2 or a 3x is the best we can hope for. Now that's a good problem to have if you only 2 or 3 times your money. But that's kind of the caution, I guess, I'm putting out to everybody, is that the more institutions that you have in play, often the less volatility, which is good, because maybe we won't ever have a 50% or 60% collapse that we've had in crypto a few times now. but it probably means the other side as well, where people are going to be more apt to take profits. Hardcore Bitcoin people, they're never taking profits. But if you're an institution and you've doubled your client's money in a certain asset, you better believe at some point you're going to start taking profits on that.
All right. Now, I think this is probably what everybody kind of wants to know. Who isn't involved already, Michael, in Bitcoin? So we've got the breakout. We got that technical breakout, if I can show the chart over here, of the handle on the cup, so to speak. You got that 70 break and take. You got the 80 break and take. How do we add or get in, Michael, into the name right now if we're not already in? Are you looking for a 70 retest? Are you looking for an 80 retest? Are you getting it possibly on a fib level? How would you work in now that the breakout is underway?
Yeah, it's time at this point. So if this immediately crashes back down here into 70, I think that's probably going to be a bad news more than anything. I'll probably be getting out of my position if that happens, just because if you have this massive spike that gets completely reversed, generally not what you want to see. You would want to see buyers starting to come in at a higher price. So the only kind of advice or encouragement that I'd give to people is that it's probably don't FOMO in here. Just, I can't give advice, but I wouldn't FOMO in here just because that's generally the top when people end up doing that. If it doubles from here, oh well, it's better than losing a bunch of your money, and it's better than having that chop. So in a perfect world, we have another base like this created, right? In a perfect world for people who have missed the opportunity is we have a push up. You don't want these things to go parabolic forever. You want it to move kind of like it was right here, where you have, these giant ramps, but then they chill for a bit, or they have flush outs, and then you have another ramp, and then it chills for a bit. Anything that goes parabolic to the upside generally goes parabolic to the downside, and that's not what we want to see. So ideally, a breakout, and then some holding up here, maybe consolidating sideways for a number of days or a couple weeks, or a pullback that doesn't quite get to that 70,000, maybe pulls back to 80, 75, and then you start to see buyers in that area. But getting involved here, I think you're 100% right that it's just not the move. It's just trying to figure out what's going to happen next. And when you have something running like this, I think this is one of those situations where the best thing to do is nothing, right? Don't buy it up here. Maybe don't sell it up here until it gets to a really extended number, but just try to wait and give it a couple weeks. Bitcoin will always be around. There'll always be a place to take a trade.
Fair. I want to ask you about Intel. So back on the 5th, you tweeted that Intel could be a good pickup. That's after it got removed from the Dow in favor of Nvidia. It's down about 4 1/3% today, Michael, but coming into an interesting area of technical support. This $24.50 area, we kind of crested out there late September. We're right back there now after that breakout last week. So what are your thoughts on Intel? Any a good look here or what?
I'm generally someone who likes to play the leader, but I do like the look of this Intel here. And this is just, it's kind of a joke, but it does happen as well. It's like when I bring up magazine covers and, if The Economist comes out tomorrow and it's bullish Bitcoin, it's probably a good time to sell. And it's the same with these exchanges. And the best example that I can think of is looking at SMCI, right? SMCI gets added to the S&P 500 and then immediately crashes, and it's under DOJ investigation and all of this craziness, where when it was a small cap, no one cared, and you had that rocket. And you can go through history and you can find those things that happen quite a bit when something gets added to a major index. Sometimes it's near a top, and when it gets removed from an index, sometimes it's near a bottom. Another one is the coal ETF got delisted the day that the price of coal bottomed. So it's just one of these things that, again, it's kind of a joke. We kind of like to laugh at, but sometimes it's serious. And what I liked about Intel was just kind of what you mentioned is we had this range for a long period of time. And every time it pulled into this $22, there was some buying that went on, and it bounced, and it pulls into 22 and it bounced. It looks to me like there was some sort of institutional accumulation going on around this $22 a share. Then we had earnings and a nice push after earnings, and I see what you're looking at pulling back into this 24. So I am interested. It's going to be important to know that you are buying the dog, right? You're buying the worst of, well, other than SMCI now, you're buying the worst of the semiconductor space. But with more onshoring happening and with more trying to get these American companies to build things in America, it could be time. And it could also just be this thing's been beaten up so much. It takes another one of these moves that it did last time where, it runs from $30 to 50 before resuming down. Now, the one thing that I'll caution everyone on is this blue line is the declining 200-day moving average. Generally speaking, the closer we get to that, the more worried I get. But if we can get up to that, even from here, that 200-day moving average is already good trade. If we can get through that, I don't know, maybe it's a place to pick. I'm just looking at this as a big, well-known company that does fantastic, and maybe it's time to pick some up here.
Hi, Michael. Just because we've already talked a couple of, I guess, Trump or election-related trades here, INTC, arguably a Trump trade, and of course, Bitcoin getting that pop after the election. You also mentioned DJT on your Twitter, saying that you had predicted it would be the greatest sell the news trade of all time. So I'm wondering, did you trade this? What are your thoughts on this? Do you have any thoughts on this trade going forward? Because we know this is definitely going to be on watch, much like other similar trades like Tesla. I guess, what are your thoughts on any potential plays resulting, including DJT?
Yeah, that was a little bit of a spicy one. I got some pushback for that, for sure. But that was right here when we were gapping up right after the election, right? It was a clear Trump victory. And yeah, my tweet was, is this going to be the greatest sell the news event of all time? And it certainly was. So I took a short there off the open as we rallied a little bit in the morning as we came back through the open. I did take a short and I did buy some put options. The idea wasn't talking about the company at all. It's the fact that this was used as a vehicle to guess on the election, but now the election's over. And it's a company that I think had $1 million in revenue total. So it's not making any money. It's hemorrhaging money in the way that the AMCs, the GME, and all that is. Now, I got out on the gap down the next day, and I'm currently not in this. I do think that unless this becomes some sort of merger with Twitter or something, I don't see a reason for the company to exist now that Trump is on Twitter tweeting about things as well. So I don't know, but it's one of those names that it could double overnight, so I don't feel comfortable shorting it too long, but I certainly wouldn't buy it here. But it was a good overall lesson, and that's kind of why I made some of these spicy tweets to get people up in arms, is hopefully to get them to think where if you look at something that everybody thinks is going to occur, generally that's going to be a sell the news event. If it's an earnings report, if Nvidia and everybody in the world thinks Nvidia is going to completely blow out earnings and they just have average earnings, then there's that hype is gone. And that was the same thing that happened here, is that people were taking this as a bet that it would win. He won, and it gapped up huge in the morning. So for me, that is generally a time where I want to look at and say, okay, everyone knew the news. The news is completely out, and it had been priced in before it happened. Probably people are going to come and take profits, and I think you can get a good trade on the other side of those.
About IWM, because this Rus rotation trade really is going the Rus 2000, obviously the ETF IWM. If I can show the chart, Fabian, we're almost at all-time highs, Michael, from what I can glean over here. This week back on, I believe, this is the week that Jerome Powell said inflation wasn't transitory. That is the week of November 8th, I believe, of 2021. We peaked there, and then we're putting in this rounded bottom. I'm going to let you give me your thoughts on this, Michael, but we're almost breaking out there at all-time highs.
Yeah, I think this is a rates play. So I think, again, it all comes back. Everything we're seeing right now comes back to everybody repricing everything based off the election. I remember coming in and talking to you guys about this before it happened, not IWM specifically, but that there were so many institutions that sit on the sidelines before a big election, and they're just waiting for whatever to happen, and then they're taking their bets. So this, to me, seems like a bet on lower rates, because as we saw when Jerome was raising rates, is that it gets very, very hard for smaller companies to deal with that. Larger companies have absolutely no problem with adjusting to rates. They did it great throughout this entire cycle. Your big tech companies, for example, they have so much cash, they don't have a lot of debt, so rates is no problem. It's the small mom and pop shops, which is what you'll see in the Russell 2000, that end up being they have the hardest times adjusting to these rates. So I think what you're seeing here, and same with the banks and the regional banks and all of that, is people thinking that just like Trump did in, I think, 2018, 2019, where he was bullying Powell on Twitter to lower rates, that he's going to do the same thing here. And if he does, the benefactor of this will be the smaller companies. Now, this to me is fantastic, and it should be as a trader, not because, I don't really care where US rates are, but because there's so many more interesting plays here. The one thing I will say is for people who get really interested in buying the Russell 2000, by design, this index kicks out its best players. If a company does fantastic, like we saw with SMCI, they kick it out of the exchange and it goes to another exchange. So I always expect IWM to underperform in the long run. However, when I start to see it moving, and like you're talking about getting near all-time highs here, it gets me interested because it means these smaller companies, I can try to pick which ones are close to getting kicked out of the index and trying to play those. So not excited from an ETF layer, but excited that it means that maybe some small caps are going to move and we can get some trades off of those.
All right, just leave you with one final thought, Michael. Anything that catch your eye today? So I know you presented us with a bunch of ideas in the morning when you were on the morning show. Anything towards the end of the day that you didn't necessarily have on your radar, but now it's kind of caught your attention?
And this is... Me and natural gas have a love-hate relationship, and I may be trying to look to get involved in this again. This chart of natural gas is just so fascinating to me, and I've had some really good trades and then some that weren't so good, but natural gas has been really, really good to me over the last few years. And the idea was pretty simple. This 15 area right here, give or take, it seems to be we bleed under it. Something happens that we come in and we end up, if we get through that area, we get a good trade. And I got a great one back here and then a lesser one back here. And notice every time it stopped was at the 200-day moving average. So the declining 200-day moving average hit it and just sold it back down, hit it and sold it back down. If we can get back through, and this isn't going to happen today, I'm not thinking today or tomorrow, but maybe in a few weeks, if we get back to this 15 area, and that's where the 200-day moving average is, if we can finally get through that, it may be time for me to take another shot in UNG, and this time try to take some for a bit of a longer-term move, because as we saw, this thing can really get going. We saw 125 up here for UNG, and now we're back down to 13. So a push from here to something like 20 or 30 bucks is a double of your money on something like this. Now, the caveat always being, they call this the Widowmaker for a reason, right? It is a nasty stock, but you can see just respecting this 200-day moving average all the time. So if the 200-day moving average and 15 line up in a certain area and we get a push through there, that's something that I'm going to watch to see if I can take another bottom pick on natural gas.
All right, Michael, thank you so much for being on. I got to tell you, I'm thinking the exact same thing. I know you're a technician, so the politics and the riff-raff is not of concern to you, but there's a president who's more fossil fuel friendly, let's call it that. I know in this specific province, we want to keep nat gas online to support the build out of SMRs, which is still in the future, as we obviously look to increase electricity capacity. So I know I'm thinking the same thing as you, but the technicals have to kind of check out there. So we'll keep. And
I think that's the beauty of trading, right? If you have a fundamental thesis, and this is how I'll tell everyone, this is how a lot of hedge funds work, right? You have a fundamental thesis behind it. They usually hire a technician like me, and we say, okay, if you think natural gas is going to go up, there's a 200-day moving average. There's this $15 area, which seems very important for it. So wait till then and take your trade. And if it makes a new all-time low, you leave. And if you're right, you're going to make 2 to 3 times your risk anyway. If it really goes, you could make 5 to 10 times your risk.
All right, Michael Noss, Chartered Market Technician. Thank you very much for coming on, Michael.
No problem. I'll see you Friday.
Take care. All right, and that ends the market recap show. What a day, though.
What a day.
Unbelievable.
We also have a super chat really quickly here from Kyle Burdett, $10 super chat. Sharif, missed you today. I was busy bidding to put up some shades in the Cowboy Stadium. Hashtag architectural fails. Thank you very much there for to big smile, big Kyle Burdett. It's been a long time since I was able to say that. Hashtag architectural fails. You get the fail button from Sharif. But thank you very much for your support for the show.
Thank you, Mike.
And your funny comments and your $10 super chat.
Guys, 88,250. We keep printing all-time highs on Bitcoin. I hope everybody has a fantastic night, and we'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning at 8:30. Good night, guys.
See you guys. Thanks to Sharif for being here.
Big show.